in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. The line between fact and fancy is often a very thin one. The border that separates illusion from reality can be very narrow, just as the distance from sanity to madness and back again to sanity can be a very short one. And do we always know where the real world leaves off and the dream begins?
Sometime the spirit of a man die before his body die. When his soul, his spirit, die before the rest of him, then the god Marco is especially sad. When that happen, melody of the drum is special sad too, like now. Listen to the song of lamentation. Death has walked among my people. Here is why this island is called the Island of the Lost.
Our mystery drama, Island of the Lost, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Arnold Moss and stars Norman Rose. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. I'll be back shortly with Act One. Dreams have breath and tears and tortures and the touch of joy. They leave a weight upon our waking thoughts. They take a weight from off our waking troubles. They can divide our being. They can become for us the heralds of eternity. For Tony Bridges, it began in the office of his eye doctor.
Tilt your head back just a trifle more, Tony. So, very good. Now hold still, please.
You know, every time you put that head mirror on to examine my eyes...
And no talking, my friend.
Oh, you're the doctor.
One moment more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, finished. You were saying, Tony?
Oh, nothing important. It's only that every time you examine my eyes and put that big mirror on around your head with the hole in the middle, it always makes me think of one of those science fiction movies with, Boris Karloff. Well, what's the verdict, Herr Dr. Werner?
The hair doctor will prescribe a stronger prescription for your eyeglasses.
Well, isn't the prescription I'm wearing strong enough?
Not quite, Tony. At your age, shall we say past 39?
Past 39, huh? What about for a man who's just past 59?
A little stronger still.
Fritz, if they'll help cut down on these headaches, it'll certainly be worth the trouble.
Well, the new glasses may help.
May?
We can never be sure about these things. We must always hope. You know something, Tony?
What?
Sometimes I think your headaches could be, triggered by something not altogether physical.
Oh, come on, Fritz. What's that supposed to mean?
How old is your wife?
Now, you know perfectly well how old Martha is.
30.
Almost on the nose. But what's Martha's age got to do with...
Tony, she's half your age. Charming, intelligent, beautiful. Black hair, green eyes, the figure of a goddess, the face of an angel.
Yes, one of the most gorgeous young women you've ever seen, right?
Exactly. Could it not be possible that there is a certain tenseness in your relationship with this beautiful young wife?
That causes the headaches? Oh, no, Fritz, I don't think so.
I've seen you both at a dinner party. How you react whenever a younger man seems to be paying the slightest attention to her. Martha loves you deeply. You have no cause in the world to be jealous of her. I promise you. So relax. Enjoy her. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life.
Fritz, what you're prescribing is exactly what I have in mind.
That's good.
You know that Martha left a week ago for that vacation we've been talking about. A little hidden-away island in the Caribbean. Well, I am joining her.
You're joining her? That's perfectly wonderful.
Yes, it's going to be like a surprise. She's not expecting me for another few days.
You shouldn't do that, Tony.
Well, who says so?
Why do you surprise her? Can't you wire her or phone?
Well, no way. There's no direct phone to the island. And by the time a wire got there...
What about the new glasses?
Well, I've lived this long with the old ones. I can live a few more days with them. Here's the address of the island. It's the Hotel Paraiso. Send them Air Express. They should be there in 2 or 3 days.
Whatever you say, Tony.
Auf Wiedersehen, Fritz. And thanks for the advice.
Not at all.
And don't forget the glasses.
Of course not.
See you in about 10 days.
Miss Elliott, please take this letter to Mrs. Martha Bridges, Hotel Paraiso, Isla de los Perdidos. I'll give you the exact address later. Send it airmail, special delivery. Mark it urgent. Ready? Dearest Martha, when you get this letter, Tony will already have surprised you. I did my best to think of a way to keep him from coming without arousing any suspicions. No luck. Under the present circumstances, it would be best for you to take every possible precaution. You cannot be too careful, dear Martha.
At 1 o'clock the following morning, I was in the lobby of the Hotel Paraiso on the little island of Los Perdidos, the island of the lost. Behind the desk, his feet on the desk, was a bald, fat little man, fast asleep. Excuse me. Maybe this will work.
Please forgive me, senor.
It's all right.
I was just taking a few winks of sleep.
It's my fault. It is a little late. 1 in the morning, your time.
Oh, the hour is of no importance, senor. Welcome to the Hotel Paraiso. I am at your service.
My wife arrived last Tuesday, and she doesn't...
Of course, senor. Pablo understands. Your wife arrived last Tuesday.
Yes, and you're Pablo.
Always at your orders, senor. Your lady, this good senora, is expecting you. You will find her in Bungalow B. It is our very best.
Expecting me? She doesn't even know that...
You must not keep her waiting, eh, senor?
But this is a surprise. She doesn't even know that I'm coming. Are you sure, Pablo?
Oh, I am sure, senor.
You didn't even ask me my name.
I know, senor, eh? You follow me now to Bungalow B, see? This is our Bungalow B. Enter, senor.
Yes, well, you can put my bag over there near the coffee table.
Now, this naturally is the living room. The bedroom is through that door.
Just a moment. I want to see. Now, we must be quiet. It's dark, but... Yes, that's Martha all right in there. And she's in bed, sound asleep.
Well, you yourself have said, senor, it is a little late.
But I just can't understand it.
Don't try, senor. Meantime, try to make yourself comfortable. Admire, if you will, the beauty of this bungalow.
Yes, it's very nice.
As you can see, all the furniture is what you call rattan. All beautifully handmade by the artistic makers of furniture of the island. And please do notice the draperies, senor.
Yes, they're very pretty.
Fishing nets woven by the fishermen of the island and made into most unique, decorative kinds.
But how could she have been expecting me? I wasn't supposed to...
And in the morning, senor, when you awaken, you will see a view from the bedroom window as you have never seen before in all your life.
Are you sure that she...
Oh, I am quite sure. Bungalow B is situated on a most high cliff looking down 2,000 feet into our beautiful sea and the rocks below.
Yes, of course. I look forward to seeing it.
In the morning, senor. And now, senor, pleasant dreams. Until tomorrow.
What was he talking about? Martha couldn't possibly have been expecting me. Not for another 3 days. Oh, well, it'll all get clear up in the morning. Oh, I better get undressed, get a little sleep. And my little gift for Martha. My anniversary present. Beautiful string of pearls. Perfectly matched. Oh, wonderful luster. Well, I'll keep till morning. I'll put them around her beautiful neck as I wake her. Oh, Lord, I'm tired. Well, lights out, Tony. I feel as if I hadn't slept in... No, not again. Not here of all places. Oh, that pain is coming again. It's spreading down the whole side of my face. It's hard to breathe.
It is me, my darling. Alberto. I'm sorry to be late. I beg your pardon.
What are you doing here?
I apologize, sir. A frightful mistake. I thought this was Bungalow B.
This is Bungalow B, young man, and I'm afraid that you've made a very great mistake.
If this is Bungalow B, I have made no mistake.
Who do you think you're looking for?
I cannot see, senor, but this can not be any of your business.
Shh, please, keep your voice down. My wife is in there asleep.
Your wife? This is beginning to be most amusing. That beautiful young woman is the wife of an old rooster like you? This is very funny. Your wife?
Now listen, you better leave. You've come to the wrong place.
Perhaps it is you who have made the mistake. The American girl told me that...
Get out of here fast before I kill you.
So, the old man has a gun, too.
Yes, and it is loaded. Out.
As you say, senor. She is all yours, old man. Good night and good luck.
As the door slammed shut, something exploded inside me. I knew that these last few months of doubt, fear, suspicion about Martha were based on something more than fantasy. This young man was evidence of it, clear and tangible proof. I hadn't been expected for a few days, and Pablo had mistaken me for this young man. My brain began to pound like a trip hammer. I no longer trusted myself to be in the same room with Martha if I stayed. At that moment, I looked down at my hands. The string of pearls was still in them. I tore them apart furiously and watched as they rolled to the floor. All night long, I wandered as though drugged up and down the long miles of beach, ghostly white in the moonlight. In the morning, weary and numb, I found my way back to the lobby of the hotel.
Tony! Darling! No, it can't be! When did you get here?
Last night's plane, connecting boats.
Oh, darling, why didn't you let me know you were coming?
Well, I had a crazy idea, Martha. I wanted to surprise you.
Well, you certainly have. Why didn't you come to the bungalow?
Oh, I did, Martha.
Oh, Tony, I would have heard you.
I came in very quietly.
Is anything wrong? Are you all right, sweetheart?
Oh, yes, I'm just dandy.
Where did you sleep last night?
I didn't. I walked along the beach after I left the bungalow.
Oh, why should you have done a silly thing?
Martha, what have you been up to since you got here?
Oh, Tony, dear. Now stop it. I won't be cross-examined. You know very well.
Who was that young man, Martha?
What are you talking about? What young man?
The young man who came calling on you in the middle of the night. He said he had an appointment.
Oh, I haven't the remotest idea what you're talking about.
I'm leaving on the next boat. It goes at 4:00.
Tony, could we go over to the bungalow, please? We can't talk here in the lobby.
All right. Whatever you like, Martha.
Where'd I put the key? Oh, here it is.
Martha?
What is it? What's wrong?
Martha, you've made a mistake.
Mistake?
The furniture. It's all different from what it was last night.
I don't understand you, Tony.
The draperies, they were made of fish netting. These are, what do you call them, matchstick bamboo. Martha, what's the letter on this bungalow?
It's Bungalow B, of course.
This isn't the bungalow where you slept last night?
Of course it is.
Now, let's take a look at the bedroom. Oh, no. No, it can't be. You were sleeping in a double-sized bed, king size, in fact, and this room has 2 twin beds. Oh, wait, I know the view. Pablo said that the view from this bedroom window was something that
What is wrong, Tony?
Well, he said that there was a beautiful view of the sea and the rocks below the cliff and palm trees. Martha, what do you see out of this window?
Nothing but the side wall of the bungalow next to us.
Then where is the beautiful view? Unless, for some reason, Pablo lied to me.
When the tree that has stood in the forest for 1,000 years topples and falls crashing to the ground, is there a sound if there are no ears to hear it? Do the brilliant colors of the rainbow exist for someone who has never had the blessed gift of eyes and eyesight? These are questions for which there are no easy answers. Just what similarly disturbing questions are there for Tony Bridges? Questions to which he has not yet found the answer. We'll find out shortly when I return with Act 2. Were the events for Tony Bridges of the night just past, the tree falling in the forest unheard, or colors never seen? What was the logical explanation? For Tony, what had happened was all a little strange and curious.
Martha and I talked all morning. She finally convinced me that everything that had happened last night was, in fact, a series of reasonable coincidences that spelled out mistake. For the first time in months, I felt as close to Martha as I ever had, and I knew she felt the same way about me. We went for a walk into the mountains that rose behind the hotel. On the way back, just as we were nearly at the bungalow, Martha lost her footing, turned her ankle badly. I carried her into the bedroom. She rested while I unpacked and ordered dinner in our rooms.
So, with your permission, senor, a beautiful dinner has been prepared for you and the senora. Look here. This fish was swimming happily in the sea only half an hour ago. And 1 hour ago, these beautiful vegetables were growing proudly in our own garden.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Pablo. It all looks beautiful indeed.
So I place the dinner here on the table.
Thank you.
And, senora, I hope you do not suffer too much pain.
No, it only hurts if I try to move it or put weight on it.
You just stay where you are for a day or two, and it'll be fine, I'm sure.
It is essential that one exercise care when walking in our beautiful mountains. From the time when there were earthquakes here, there are some cracks where one can trip and twist an ankle.
Oh, really? This is earthquake country. I didn't know that.
Senor, was. Not in any more than 40 years. Now, there. Your dinner is served. I leave you to the enjoyment of it. Buenas noches to you both. Senor, senora.
Well, let me get these few things away in the closet, and then we'll have our so beautiful dinner. Do you have the key, dear?
What key?
To this second closet. It's locked.
Oh, I forgot. There isn't any key. Pablo said the last guest took it with him. There's no master key, so he's ordered a duplicate from the mainland.
Oh, well, I'll put my stuff in your closet then, all right?
The key should be here by tomorrow or the next day.
Oh, that's great. And now, if the senora will permit, that she be carried from her bed to this most appetizing dinner.
The senor has the senora's permission.
Up we go.
Oh.
There we are. Comfortable.
Yes. Couldn't be happier. Except for this stupid ankle.
Buen appetito, my darling. To us.
To us.
In the middle of the night, I was wakened by the most curious sensation. bed was being shaken violently. All around me, I had the feeling that the furniture, the pictures on the wall, were vibrating in some strange way. The whole bungalow was quivering. Martha! Martha! Are you all right? Martha, are you awake? Oh, where's that light? Oh, there. Martha! Her bed was empty. Martha, where are you? Where could she be? Then I suddenly remembered her ankle. How could she have left her bed? Where could she have gone? What had Pablo said about this once having been earthquake country? Of course, that's what was happening.
At your service, Senor Reyes.
We're in the middle of an earthquake, aren't we?
Earthquake? There is no earthquake, Senor.
But of course there is. What are we supposed to do?
What? Do, Senor?
Oh, look, will you stop beating about the bush? Just tell me that it's nothing serious or that it'll pass without damage, but don't tell me that it's nothing.
Would you please to tell me why the Senor thinks there is an earthquake?
The pictures, my bed, the lamp, the whole room is shaking and jumping around, and that noise, that rumbling noise.
Senor, your wife, she is experiencing the same thing, Senor?
Well, that's just it. It's really why I called. My wife is not here.
Oh, I am so sorry to hear she is not there.
Have you seen her?
I regret, Senor. I have not.
But where could she have gone? She can't walk.
Of this, I have no knowledge, Senor.
No, wait a minute. Wait just a moment. The sound seems to have stopped, and nothing's shaking anymore. Is it all over?
I think perhaps I can explain. The strenuous climb you have made this afternoon in the mountains, the kindness of the altitude and the thinness of the air, you are not used to it. It happens to many of our guests.
What happens?
It is a kind of a spasm of the muscles, Senor, from the altitude. I'm so happy it has passed.
But my wife, where is my wife?
For that, Senor, as I have already said, I regretfully have not the slightest idea. You sleep well, Senor.
In spite of my concern about Martha, I fell asleep immediately. A long and merciful sleep. When I awoke, it was broad daylight. The sun was streaming in through the windows, and everything was exactly as it had been in the middle of the night, except for one thing. Lying in the next bed, reading calmly, was Martha.
Good morning, sweetheart. Did you have a good night? I slept like a rock.
Where were you last night?
Tony, let go of my arm. You're hurting.
Where were you? Where did you go?
What are you talking about?
Where were you?
Let go. Get your hands away from my throat. I can't breathe.
In the middle of the night, you left this bedroom. Now, where did you go?
Are you out of your mind? Take a look at this ankle of mine. It's purple and blue. It's twice the size it was last night. I can't walk on it except with the greatest pain. You asked me where I was last night. I was here. Right here in this bed every minute of the night.
A couple of days passed. They were blessedly peaceful, uneventful, golden. 2 days before our vacation was to end, Martha's ankle was strong enough for her to venture out on another little walk into the hills that ran along the edge of the cliff that overlooked the sea below.
Oh, this cane's a great help. I really don't have to put my full weight on the ankle.
Just watch your step. Avoid any of those cracks that Pablo pointed out.
Look, darling, there's a clearing up ahead. We could rest for a bit when we get up there. Oh, listen to those birds.
Yes, the whole thing is like a Garden of Eden.
You know, Pablo said if we follow this path, we'll discover thousands and thousands of wild orchids. Oh, we should have come here long ago. It's so much more fun than going to those silly luncheons.
For the first time in months, I began to feel sure of myself. Sure of Martha. In spite of all my fears, I knew she loved me. I had no reason for being jealous of her.
Everything is so much more fun.
Not a single reason. As she spoke, I began to hear a strange sound, like the flapping of 1,000 wings, coming nearer and nearer.
Tony, look! The sky is
birds. Huge birds. Martha, what are they? They're all pink and red.
I think they're flamingos. I've never seen so many birds in my life. They're coming closer and closer. Tony, I'm frightened. What should we do?
I don't know. Martha, use your cane. If they come close, use it like a baseball bat. Here's a branch from a tree. I'll do the same.
Look out, Tony. Here they come.
Look, there's one. Oh, that big one. Oh, that big one just knocked off my glasses. I can't see.
Don't think I can fight them. There's too many of them.
Keep at it, darling. Sooner or later. Oh. Martha? What happened? Where did they go?
They?
The flamingos. The birds. They disappeared as suddenly as they came. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I can't imagine. Oh, I need a cigarette.
You take one of mine. They're in my bag.
I can't see very well. I lost my glasses when those birds...
The bag. It's right near your feet.
Oh, yes. Yes, I've got it. Oh, there's so much junk in your bag. What's that?
What is it?
Listen. You hear it? What do you suppose it is? Martha, you do hear it, don't you?
I think so.
In the distance, those drums beating.
Well, of course. Of course I hear them, dear.
Oh, thank heavens. I thought for a moment. Where do you suppose they come from? Who's playing them?
But I haven't the slightest idea.
That's funny. Now for that cigarette. Down we go into the bottom of your bag and... Martha, what's this?
That's the key to the closets in the bungalow.
To your closet?
To my closet and your closet. It's to both closets.
Both? When did it get here?
It's always been here. Why?
When I asked you about it the other night, you said there was no key to my closet. Somebody had taken it away and they were making a new one.
I said that?
Of course you did. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's all starting to make sense. That anyone could be so evil. That anyone could so despise another human being that she'd stop at nothing. Stoop to anything to get him out of the way.
You don't know what you're saying. I love you, Tony. You must believe me.
Anything at all. Even to the point of trying to drive a man out of his mind.
Not true.
All these strange things that have been happening. Oh, they were no coincidences. They were all part of some twisted, devilish scheme you worked out to get rid of me by driving me mad.
Careful, Tony. You're backing me so close to the edge of the cliff.
The mix-up with the bungalows. Oh, that was a good one. How did you work that? And the business of your ankle and disappearing in the middle of the night. That was worthy of a master.
Stop it, Tony!
And the birds, huh? And now this key. Oh, you missed your calling, Martha. You should get an act together. Martha, the mysterious magician. She mystifies. She confuses. The hand is quicker than the eye. She cheats. She lies. But it's all part of the act, isn't it, Martha? Isn't it?
Careful, Tony. I'm losing my balance. Tony!
Long trip, Martha. 2,000 feet. And those sharp rocks down there can't be very comfortable, can they? The act is over, Martha. Curtain, Martha.
Jealousy is said to be the child of love. But if the parent does not do his best to strangle the child will not rest till it has poisoned its own father, which may well be the case with Tony Bridges. To what further extremes will the deadly venom of his jealousy drive Tony? He may or may not know the answer, but we shall when we return shortly with Act 3. A glorious feeling of exhilaration flowed through Tony. His head was as light as if he'd drunk too much champagne. For the first time in years, he no longer had a heavy millstone around his neck. The torment of having a beautiful young woman for a wife. Tony Bridges' only concern now was to find some way to get off the island before Martha's body was discovered.
The same drums I'd heard just before Martha. I started walking slowly, deliberately, in the direction from which they seemed to come. Without my glasses, I could just barely see where I was going. I tore my way through a tangle of creeping vines and found myself in some sort of a clearing. I almost stumbled over something seated before a small fire. It was an ancient little man of the island, his face like so much black parchment, his clothes in rags. He sat there, hunched over the smoky fire, blinking his eyes and mumbling.
Do you want?
I beg your pardon.
It is all my fault. I should not sit in the middle of the bath, but it is a good place to meditate.
Who are you? What's your name, old man?
You've long forgotten my name, even by me.
What are you doing here?
Sitting, listening, thinking.
Listening?
To the sad and mournful song of my people.
You mean those drums? You hear them too?
Alas, I hear them too well. I hear them.
What are they for? Where does the sound come from?
Our island is small. They come from everywhere. They are heard everywhere.
But why? Why? What do they mean?
This what you hear is lamentation. Death has walked among my people, among the lost one. It is why this place is called Islarilos Perdidos, Island of the Lost.
Someone has died?
Someone has passed on to Mako.
Who is Mako?
The great father of all things in the sea, from where we all have come to where we all shall go.
I see.
This is reason for the wailing of the drums. They beat out their farewell to the soul of a man who is making the journey to Mako.
The soul of a man or a woman?
Man. Always man, not woman. For woman, drums play another song, not this one.
I understand. I'm very sorry for the poor man who has gone on to Mako. When did he die?
No one can be sure. Perhaps he is not yet dead.
Well, then why...
The drums often sing with the promise of things to come, to some soon. Sometime the spirit of a man will die. Before he does, then Mako is especially sad because he is made to wait. When that happened, the melody of the drums is especially sad too. Like now.
I left my ancient friend as quickly as possible, made my way back to the hotel. I couldn't stop thinking of all the confusing things that had happened since I arrived on this cursed island. The mix-up with the bungalows, the visitor that first night, the missing closet key, what I had thought was an earthquake, Martha's apparent disappearance in the middle of the night in spite of her bad ankle, the attack by the flamingos, and finally, my realization that Martha, in some way, has made all these things happen to drive me out of my mind. But hold on. Has made things happen. Made things happen. Martha is dead. Her body at this very moment is being battered against the sharp rocks by the angry waters of that beautiful blue sea.
Senor Bridges, I have been looking for you all over.
What do you want?
Most especially, I have been looking for the senora, your wife.
What is it?
For you, senor, this small package has arrived by this morning's boat.
Thank you, Pablo.
And for the senora, this letter. Handmade, very special delivery. He's marked most urgent.
Yes, I'll take it.
You will be sure, senor, it reaches the hands of the senora. Is also marked very personal.
Don't worry.
Thank you, senor.
I walked over to Bungalow B. Once inside, I collapsed into the big chair, feeling as though my lifeblood had been drained from me. I opened the package addressed to me. Good old Fritz. My glasses. I put them on, and things came into focus once again. Then I tore open the letter addressed to Martha. Very especial delivery, most urgent, very personal. As I read, my hands began to shake, my head to ache.
Dearest Martha, when you get this letter, Tony will already have surprised you. I did my best to think of a way to keep him from coming without arousing any suspicions. No luck. Under the present circumstances, it would be best for you to take every possible precaution. You cannot be too careful, dear Martha. My last examination of Tony showed unmistakable symptoms. In the simplest language, of deterioration of the brain tissues. The symptoms point clearly to a situation where Tony's sanity hangs by a very thin thread. At any given moment, that thread may snap. If it does, the first manifestations will be an attack of dizziness, accompanied by a buzzing in the ears and a
blurring of the vision. There are also indications of things that follow the classic pattern, that there will be a series of hallucinations. Hallucinations. He will think he sees and hears things he actually does not see or hear. He will think he has done things he has not actually done. Hallucinations. Then none of these things ever really happened. And Martha's alive. She's alive. Like everything else, I imagined that too. I imagined that I killed her.
Si, pronto?
Pablo, have you seen the senora?
Un momentito, por favor. I have not seen your wife since she left with you, senor.
But you don't understand, Pablo. Everything is...
Will you please to have a seat for one small moment, Senor Bridges, until I complete this telephone call? Your pardon. Si, jefe.
You see, Pablo, I'm not exactly well, and I had the foolish idea that Martha, my wife, had fallen over that I had pushed her and that she... You understand?
Diga usted que... Ah, no, es increíble. ¿Estás seguro?
I thought she might be dead, but now I know that too was what we call a hallucination, something that you think...
Se cayó en las rocas, a pie de la cuevadra. Oh, yo lo diga. Gracias, jefe. Hasta pronto.
What was that all about, Pablo?
I regretfully must inform you, senor, of some very bad news.
What is it, Pablo?
At the foot of the cliff, senor, just below the hotel, 2 fishermen have just discovered the body of the senora, your wife. The police will soon be here. Are you all right, Senor Beniz?
Oh, yes, I'm fine, Pablo. Did I hear you speaking on the phone a moment ago?
The phone? Ah, si, senor. It was the contractor for the building of the annex to this hotel.
And you didn't tell me something about 2 fishermen, what they found at the bottom of the cliff?
Not one word, senor, about any fishermen.
You said nothing about my wife?
Well, no, senor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pablo. I'll be in the bungalow. Was that phone conversation and what Pablo had told me about Martha's body being found at the foot of the cliff, was that too a hallucination? Along with my backing her off the cliff? What was real? What was imagined? Was Martha dead? Was she alive? I rushed back into the bungalow. I knew Martha would be there. Dear, sweet, wonderful, beautiful Martha. Martha? Martha, sweetheart, where are you, Martha? The bedroom? The bathroom? Oh, where on earth could she be? Yes!
Excuse me, senor, but you have 2 visitors. I will accompany them to the bungalow. We will be there in a moment.
She couldn't possibly have gone to... No, what's this? What have I got in my hand? Where did it come from? The key to my closet. I had it when I asked Martha for a cigarette, and she told me that... and it's been here in my hand all that time. Strange. I must open the closet now. I do have the key, and that's what keys are for. To open things. Isn't that right, Tony?
You must excuse us, senor. These are the police of the island.
No, not just this minute, please. Not till I open the door to the closet.
We can tell you. The maid, when she cleaned this morning, found the door to the closet open.
So? No, it isn't for real. I'm only imagining this. It's my imagination, gentlemen. It's my imagination.
See, Senor Jefe, here in this closet, that is the body of his wife. Is strangled with this string of precious pearls.
The poet Longfellow wrote, "The moon, from some dark gate of cloud, throws o'er the sea a floating bridge of light, across whose trembling planks our fancies crowd into the realm of mystery and night." So Tony Bridges, as he stands staring into the sea, watching the floating bridge of light cast by a full Caribbean moon, Tony knows at last the difference between the real and the imaginary. Or does he? I'll be back shortly. We trust you've enjoyed our little exercise in Now You See It, Now You Don't. Or to put it another way, a string of precious pearls should never be used for anything other than show. But that's something everybody knows, isn't it? Our cast included Norman Rose, Marian Seldes, Bob Kaliban, and Ian Martin. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Now, a preview of our next tale.
It seems to me we could have skipped visiting Chris's grave today. You needn't have come if you didn't want to, Sybil. But you can't go on doing this the rest of your life. Come once a week or once a month. Well, you know what that would lead to. Coming not at all. No. I love Chris more than anyone else in the world, and I'm... Who's that? What? Someone. A man. Standing beside Chris's grave. Can just make him out in the fog. I don't see... Oh, yes. A man standing with his head bent as if he were praying. Shh. He's raising his head. He's turning towards us. Sybil. Oh, Sybil, my God. My God, it's Chris.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Contact, the 12-hour cold capsule. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. I'm E.G. Marshall. There is more than the fear of the supernatural, the unknown. There is the terror that stalks the streets of our cities, and the nightmare of sudden accident that can erode a man's soul and destroy faith and hope. This story begins in an old limestone house, once an extravagant mansion, now a walk-up apartment building. And we start at the top, in the tiny two-room flat occupied by an elderly single lady as she opens the door after the long climb.
Stairs will be death of me yet. I'll just sit down and... What? Someone's been at my silver caddy. The drawer. Stolen. It's all gone.
All right, Mama. Cut it. You try to yell, I'll kill you. And don't turn around.
Please, not my silver. All my jewels, they're all I have left of Fred. Please, I have money. You shot me.
Well, I told you not to turn around. You silly old hen. Hey, man, that's a good-looking brooch. Might as well take it along, eh, Mama? Hey, you dead? Well, that's good. I'd have shot you anyways. One way I get my kicks. So long, Mama. Sleep tight.
Our mystery drama, The Deadly Blind Man's Bluff, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Mason Adams and Augusta Dabney. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Contact, the 12-hour cold capsule. I'll be back shortly with Act One. Not so long ago, 821 Green Street was a good place to live. From the landlord who lived in the basement to Mrs. Schofield, the elderly lady who lived on the top floor in the single tiny apartment with a flower terrace outside. Certainly nobody was happier to move into the building than Fran and Dave Miller. How could they have even guessed that in it Dave would lose himself as a man, or that a savage, reckless, vicious killer would be the magic key to him finding himself again?
It's quite a climb, 3 flights. Only one person lives higher. Mrs. Schofield. Quiet as a mouse. She won't ever bother you. Here we are.
How clean and well kept up everything is, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, somebody takes a lot of pride in the work put into this.
Mm-hmm. My grandfather had this house built for him. Mm-hmm. 1894. People took a power of pride in what they worked at then. Can't find anyone who wants to work with his hands these days.
Oh, yes, you can. My Dave. And nobody takes more pride in what he does.
Huh? What's your profession, Mr. Miller?
I'm a jackhammer man, Mr. Stone, a riveter.
Yes, he works on all the big ones. Why, he doesn't care how high he goes.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought it up because there is one drawback to the apartment I feel that I've got to tell you.
You mean the big apartment job they're breaking ground for at the corner?
Yes. There's going to be an awful lot of noise for a while.
Well, that's no drawback for us because we're both out working all day.
As a matter of fact, I may be even working on that building, so I'm the one who'd be apologizing to you.
Well, I'm glad that's out of the way. Now, let's have a look at the apartment and see what you think, eh?
Got that feeling, Dave. It's going to be lucky for us. Oh, my. Oh! Well, if the rest is as good as this, we're home, Dave.
Morning, Mrs. Schofield. Not off babysitting with your grandson today?
Oh, Sergeant Hennessy. Now, how would you know today's my day?
Because 'tis Friday, and your habits are as regular as clockwork.
The sergeant knows the habits of everyone in the precinct.
It's what I get for being a beat cop the most of my life and sticking to it.
Well, don't think we're all not grateful, Mr. Rivera. It's why we all think this is the safest neighborhood in the city. But my son and his family are off on vacation for 2 weeks.
I'm surprised you didn't go along.
Oh, too far. Besides, my plants need me. Well, bye now, Sergeant Hennessy and Mr. Rivera.
Bye.
I like that, mister.
A lady only had titled friends.
And who's the big guy following her up the stairs there, huh? I never seen him before.
It's okay, Juan. He and his little bride just moved in. Nice people.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I have seen his wife. Something to look at, huh, Sergeant?
Pretty as a picture. Which is more than you look like, leaving your big fat rump against the building. Too many tortillas, Juan. Come on, let's go patrol.
And you know the funny thing? The longer the day goes on, the heavier these boots get.
Just thank himself up there you live in Queens on the first floor. And not up 4 long flights like poor Mrs. Schofield is climbing now. You'll never make it.
Can I give you a hand?
Oh, thank you, young man. I'm afraid these stairs are beginning to get the better of me.
I'm David Miller. My wife and I just moved on the 4th floor, apartment B.
Oh, well, I'm Letitia Schofield, top floor. Oh, well, just one more now, if I ever make it.
Well, I'd be glad to see you home safe.
Safe? Oh, Lord bless you, son. In this house, that's never anything to worry about. 7 years I've been here, and it's as safe as a church.
Are you sure you can make it now?
Oh, don't you worry. I fly this last flight like a bird.
Fran, it's me. I got the cup hooks and the other stuff.
Hi, darling. Oh, I've just been fixing and fiddling, and it's all just as perfect and wonderful as I knew it would be that first day when we took it.
Hey, take it easy. You want to break me in half?
No, I just want to hug you as hard as I can to let you know how happy I am. Oh, nothing could break you anyway. You're as hard as steel.
Not inside. Not when you're this close.
Well, I want to be as close as close. I love the apartment, darling. I love you. I love us. Do you love me?
You know I do. All I do is have to look at you. You're so beautiful, Fran.
Okay, you just keep wearing those rose-colored spectacles, and I'll stay that way.
I don't need spectacles. Nothing the matter with my eyes.
What floor you'll be working on today, Dave?
76. Just started to frame up.
Oh, darling. Gee, I wonder at you sometimes. Aren't you ever afraid?
I wouldn't want to take time to think about it. You can't. Fear's like rust. Once you let it start, it corrodes everything.
Oh, I'd be afraid of losing you.
You start thinking that way, and you destroy the way we love each other. Don't you forget yesterday afternoon.
Don't you?
Don't worry, I won't. Well, I'll see you around 4.
And it's an eternity. But it's worth living through. Just so we can see each other again.
And I'm the one who gets the best part of that bargain.
What are you, Juan? The bird of ill omen? You're always hovering over the bulletin.
Hey, that fellow top dog. If I could catch that piece of filth, then all the rest of being a cop, the other dirt and waste, and most of the time being too late to stop it, it would be worth it all.
Yeah, I know how you feel. He's a maniac. He kills too often. But me, I just hope he stays out of our precinct.
He seems to be working in the other side of town. Now, here's a bulletin in from the 13th. Looks just like him. But I am not like you. I want him in our precinct so I can find him and destroy him.
Anyone catches him is really going to have their eyes peeled. In the meantime, we'd better hit the beat. So far, what's that?
It's our precinct. Fire on that big new Haverford casualty building. All personnel alerted for fire department support.
Okay, Juan, I'll check with the lieutenant. You see what squad cars might be available in case we need to ride.
What caused the fire, Sergeant?
Well, I got it from the crew boss. Your husband's been breaking in a new bucket.
Yeah, I
man.
know. His regular partner, Duke Maxter, he sprained his ankle.
That's right.
And I know the new guy's a scatter-arm, but this wasn't the first rivet he's thrown out of Dave's reach.
No, man.
And even as red hot as they are, Sergeant, even on wood floor, the rivets aren't likely to start a fire.
Yeah, well, this one did. You see, they were just about to start welding on one of the joints, and the welder had just brought up his tank and uncoiled the hose. The rivet your husband couldn't catch landed right on the rubber hose, burned through it like that.
Oh, God.
And flash-fired back to the tank. Yeah, that was pure oxygen, ma'am, and it went off like a bomb. It's a lucky thing for Mr. Miller. The welder was kind of between him and the tank, a human shield, like.
Oh, poor man, how awful. I hope he wasn't hurt too bad.
He didn't feel no pain.
He's dead?
Yes,
And Dave?
Here comes the doc now. She's the one to ask. Dr. Binefield, this is Mrs. David Miller.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs.
How's
Miller?
my husband, Doctor? Is he hurt bad?
Well, not in general, Mrs. Miller. Do you know what happened?
Yes, the sergeant told me about the explosion and the other man.
The welder, yes. Well, he absorbed almost all of the flame and the flying metal.
Almost all?
Unfortunately, well, one of your husband's eyes was badly burned. Plastically, we can patch him up as good as new, but I'm afraid the sight...
Oh, no. Oh, but Doctor, the other eye, that's all right, isn't it? Please, isn't it?
Mrs. Miller, I have to ask you to be brave. The other eye was hit by a piece of the tank that we've been operating. Fortunately, your husband was far enough away so that most of its force was spent. There was no injury to the brain, but the optic nerve...
Go on, Doctor.
Well, I'm afraid it was completely destroyed.
You mean my Dave is blind?
Oh, Mrs. Miller, I'm sorry.
You had to walk in and see me. No. Just keep your mouth shut and do like I tell, mister. And just walk over to that wall. Away from the door. Keep your hands up. Say nothing, right? Not a peep. Not even to beg and crawl and tell me you never seen me. You never seen nothing. You didn't see nothing, mister. Nobody sees Top Dog and lives.
A vicious killer on the other side of town from an unconscious young man who doesn't know yet that he will never wake to light again. A psychopath who doesn't deserve to be alive, and a fine young man tragically turned into a someone else he will find hard to live with. What do these two have in common? Why do they belong in the same story? We shall begin to find out when I return shortly with Act 2. In the long weeks that followed, Dave tried to make his adjustment. He faithfully followed all the instructions of his teacher who came daily. Most difficult was persuading Dave to leave the house, to learn to walk on foot, to carry the white cane that was the badge of his condition. One thing only he did willingly enough: exercises. He kept himself as fit and hard as he had always been. Outside, he was still the same Dave Miller, alive and vital. But inside, something at the very core of him had died. Particularly after the riveters came to the building at the corner.
Oh, Oh, Mr. Miller, can I give you a hand upstairs?
No, I don't need a hand up. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Schofield, isn't it?
Yes, and I'm the one that's sorry. I spoke before I thought. It's just that you don't know how I dread those stairs, so
I'll do the helping. Huh? I gotta find some use for myself. You got groceries there?
Oh, just a few. Most I can manage at one time.
You give me those. Come on, here. Now, let me have them and take my other arm. And this time, I am taking you right to your door.
Oh, my. Oh, well, that's the easiest trip I've ever made, I think. Oh, thank you, Mr. No, I think I'm old enough to say thank you, Dave.
Sure, Mrs. Schofield. Here, I'll give you the shopping bag now.
Oh, good. Oh, won't you come in a minute?
I'll knock over your furniture or bust something. Don't forget I'm blind.
Oh, you wouldn't let me forget. But I wanted to show you my terrace.
I waited too long to see it, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, you can still smell the flowers and feel how cool it is and hear my little fountain splashing. Even with all the other racket, I can still go out there and feel at peace.
Terrace, huh?
Mm-hmm. And I'll even make you some lunch. Friend's at work, isn't she?
Well, somebody has to make it to pay the bills. Okay, just guide me so that I don't make a fool of myself.
Well, now you just give me your hand and I'll guide you. That's my silver tea caddy that Fred, he was my husband, he gave me for a special wedding present. He knew I always... Oh, watch out for the chair. Here. He always knew I liked to set a good table. And that's my corner cupboard with my bells. Fred gave me one every New Year to ring it in. 35 of them. He died before he could give me the last. Oh, now, here's the terrace. I'll get the door, and watch out for the step over.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, something smells good.
Oh, that's honeysuckle. It's just like a weed, really. It takes so much pruning, but I can't bear to get rid of it.
Other good smells, too.
Mm-hmm. Roses, gardenia, carnations.
That honeysuckle's getting stronger.
Oh, that's because you're right near the edge. Now, careful.
Yeah, I feel the coping. What's down below?
Oh, the sidewalk and the areaway.
Long drop.
Huh.
That's what drives me real crazy.
Oh, I don't blame you. It bothers me a lot.
No, not for the same reason. That's where I ought to be. Up there, with my gun.
Watch it, Juan. He's got a gun.
We know that. Did you hit him?
I never even saw him. He went over the fire escape so fast.
Let's get after him.
It's too late. He was 4 or 5 rooftops away, and between 2 of them's a jump neither you nor I could make.
It was Top Dog, wasn't it?
And by all the signs. Another top-floor apartment, another corpse. And something new I don't like at all.
What?
He's moved his territory. He's in our precinct now.
Had it, boy. Drive that rivet home. What? Who's that? Fran?
Yes, Dave. Oh, I'm sorry about the riveting gun.
Well, they'll be jack-gutting all day.
Well, I should have closed the bedroom window when I got up. I'll get it now.
No, I'll do it. What time is it?
5 after 8. Darling?
What?
Why don't you go on back to bed?
No, I couldn't sleep now.
You must be so tired.
Why should I be tired?
Because you were up half the night again. You were prowling about in the...
So say it. In the dark. What else is there? I got things on my mind.
Oh, what are you looking for, darling?
My slippers.
Well, I'll get them for you.
I can get them for myself. Will you stop treating me like a baby? Never mind, I got them.
Dave, don't find it so hard to ask me for things. I'm your wife. I want to be everything to you. I've always tried to be. Is it so hard to let me be? Dave, can't I be your eyes? I'd give them to you if I could.
Oh, honey, come here. I'm sorry. Just try to bear with the bear, huh? That's not much of a joke.
I think it is. To hear you cracking one again. Second best thing you could do for me.
What's the first?
Well, as long as you are up, couldn't you kiss me good morning?
Oh, darling, forgive me. I love you. Good morning.
Good morning. I love you.
Sit down, honey.
Oh, Dave, I haven't time. And it's payday today. I'll be home real early.
Okay. Can't do anything to interfere with the old take-home. Somebody's got to keep a roof over our heads.
Honey, listen. Don't get down in the dumps again.
What is the point? I feel so useless. I gotta do something. I gotta find something to keep me busy instead of hanging around in the apartment all day, twiddling my thumbs and going nuts.
Well, you ought to be taking your walk, getting some air.
Sure. I tried that yesterday. Bumping into everyone, bumping into everything, having little kids help me across the street. I tell you, when I went up with Mrs. Schofield, I was ready to take a dive off her terrace.
Oh, listen, I can't leave you like this, Dave. Why don't you listen to the teacher and you get a dog?
No. How many times are we going to have to go around that again? Gee, forget it, honey. Look. Maybe I will look into it. Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself, huh? Hey, what's the time?
After 8. I've got to get my coat and fly.
Yeah, any hot coffee left in the kitchen?
Oh, no. And Dave?
Yeah?
Well, you'll have to make instant, because the electric pot is on the fritz again. Darling, it shorted out the whole house when I plugged it in this morning.
Did you put in a new fuse?
Oh, sure. Where's my bag?
I'm the last person to ask. Well, I'll fix the percolator. It's just a loose connection. And, Fran.
Yes, darling.
While I'm at it, I'll try to rewire myself.
Oh, darling, I hate to leave you in this mood.
Yeah, in this mood, I ought to be left. I'll see you around 5.
Okay, maybe earlier. Oh, and there's fried chicken and corn on the cob for dinner. Well, that ought to bring out a grin.
From ear to ear.
Oh.
Just look at me.
My favorite sight. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Good morning, Mrs. Schofield.
Oh, Mrs. Miller. Oh, I'm so glad someone's going downstairs. You know, they'll be the death of me.
Well, here, you lean on my arm.
Oh, thank you. How's Mr. Miller?
Oh, Dave's coming along fine. How's your son?
Well, I don't see so much of him. He's off at business so much.
Well, I should think you'd want to live with your family.
Oh, no, I'd only be in the way. My son and his wife have their life to live, and 3 is a crowd. Besides, it's good for old people to be independent. If we have to hold on to our pride, we'd fall apart without it.
Not only old people. Oh, I was just thinking, what can you do for someone who's lost it?
Well, you can't. Just count on time for Dave.
I'll try to remember. There's the last.
Oh, good.
I'll get the front door.
Oh, that's awful riveting. I'll be glad to get away from it for a day.
Morning, Mrs. Schofield. Mrs. Miller.
Oh, good morning, Sergeant Henderson.
Good morning.
Could I remind you that me and Juan Rivera are collecting again for the Police Boys Fund? Could I put just a wee bite on your board?
Well, not on me now. I've only a subway token and lunch money till I get paid. But I'll be back early. Before 5 this afternoon. Could you stop back?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, could you wait for me till then, too? I've got to catch my bus.
Well, I wouldn't bother either of you, except in a good cause, but I wonder now, should I be troubling Mrs. Miller at all under the circumstances?
You let her contribute her bit. Don't undermine her pride.
Well, it's Dave Miller's pride I'm thinking about, now that he can't work. Yeah, I was laid up once with a bullet, and I thought I'd never be a whole man again. But I had the chance to recover. See, what has he got?
For heaven's sake, Dave, it's bedlam in here.
Where'd you you say, friend?
You mind if I turn off the TV?
Be my guest. I can't look at it anyway. That hammer was driving me up the wall. I had to kill the noise.
Oh, baby.
I'm gonna have to get a dog, friend. You're right. At least it'd get me out of the house more often.
Why, hon, that's what you need. You've got to start living again.
Living. Living. That was living for me. Fran, you just don't know. Slung in a rig, feet braced against a column, whacking home those red-hot nails. Or straddling a crossbeam as a bucket man and picking those sizzling babies out of the air and lobbing them up to the gun hog and his funnel, or passing them on with the tongs. I tell you, a guy felt like a king. I mean, you owned the world. You were building a whole city. You could turn any which way on your perch and you could see the...
Dave, darling. Darling.
Forget it. It's over. It's done with, and so am I. I'm no good to you.
You're my world, darling. You're all I want. But you know, you're acting like a baby. It's about time. It's about time that you started acting like a man again.
How?
By facing your problems. By realizing that, well, in spite of what's happened, you're as good as any other man. And for me, you're a darn sight better when you're yourself. I'm going out and make a cup of coffee.
You can't. I used up all the instant.
You didn't fix the percolator?
I tried to, but it's in the elements somewhere. And guess what? I couldn't fix it because I couldn't see where.
Dave? Where are you going?
I'm going out. I'm no good to you. I'm no good to me, to nobody. Just let me figure my own way out. I should climb up to Mrs. Schofield's and just take the big step over that honeysuckle off of the terrace. That was a gun. Hey, who's there? Did you hear a gunshot? Shut up. Drop that white cane. I need it. I can't see. Hey, you mean you're blind, man? Yeah, but who... Oh, boy, this is your lucky day. I almost let you have it, too. Okay, now move away. Who are you? Move away. I said move it. I got a gun in my hand, and I'm busting clear out of here.
It's okay, Juan. If you tried to lump that lump of light on your rump up 4 flights, you'd be liable to have a heart attack.
Cops. Okay, Mac. Is this your apartment, huh? Yeah. Do you feel that? That's a rod. It's loaded, and I ain't got no cause not to use it again. So open up your door and get me inside. Why should I? The name's Top Dog, man. That bring you in a line? You heard of me, huh? Yeah, I've heard of you. And you know I don't mind using this. That's just what I was thinking about. Maybe I should just let you go ahead. My best way out. What would you say if I just said, go ahead, shoot?
It's taken a while, but these uneven antagonists have met by sheer chance. Now the smell of fear hangs heavy in the air. The desperate criminal about to be caught red-handed. The hopeless young man who thinks he has so little left to live for. A moment of desperate decision for both, which we will return to shortly with Act 3.
This is WBBM Chicago.
On the 4th floor landing, Top Dog looks in awe at the first person he has ever met who shows no fear of the lethal weapon that has killed without mercy so often. From below, approaching gradually is the measured tread of the sergeant of police as he toils up the stairs towards them. Above is the woman Top Dog has just murdered, and he knows there is no rooftop escape from this house.
You open that door, man, or you die. Suppose that's just what I want. Someone to do for me what I haven't got the guts to do myself. Oh, that's just where you get it if you don't open that...
Dave!
Shh. Okay, lady. Okay, that's it. Now, I got a gun. Now, back in the house, or I let your husband have it.
Please don't.
Same goes for you, mister. Now, you don't move, or the lady gets it. Okay, don't shoot. I'm with you. This your wife? Yes, and so help me. Shut up. Now, nobody's going to get hurt if I get out of here okay. But I'm warning you. I got nothing to lose. Now, I just knocked off that old dame upstairs. So the both of you just freeze and keep your mouth buttoned real tight. Or I start blasting. Now, shh.
Hey, Juan.
Yes,
Juan.
Yes.
I was just looking out the second floor hall window. There's an old heap parked on the other side of the street.
Yeah, I see.
Check that plate, will you? Looks like a stolen car to me.
Lousy copper. What's he want?
Maybe he heard the shot.
Oh, come on, over that rivet gun? Hey, what's that lousy cop want here anyways, huh?
Every cop in this city is looking for you, top dog.
Dave, don't bait him.
That's okay, lady. I know it. I'm number one.
Sure, something to be really proud of.
Did you really shoot Mrs. Schofield?
She caught me going through her apartment.
To shoot an old woman in cold blood?
Well, she seen me, didn't she? No. Listen, baby, I'm a 3-time loser. Now, I got nothing to lose.
But that poor little thing...
Shh. She could have pulled me out of the file. She seen me. And anybody sees me on a job gets it. Anybody catches me on a job gets it. Hey, that's where you get a break, man. Now, ain't you glad you're blind, huh? You couldn't give him a make on me. Hey, lady, you blind like your husband?
No,
Yes, we're both blind. So, you seen me too, lady, huh? Well, that's kind of too bad now, ain't it? Hold it down, everyone. Who's that?
I guess it's the sergeant.
What's he want here?
Mrs. Schofield and I promised him a contribution for the police force league this afternoon.
Well, maybe he'll figure you ain't home, huh?
No, he knows I'm here. I just said hello to him at the corner. You see?
So pay him off.
You're hurting me.
Now, look, you just cool it, man. Now, look, Jake, you got one other job to do. Now, you keep that cop from going upstairs, huh? And no funny business.
If you do anything to my wife...
Button it up, helpless. You're the first to get it if anything goes wrong. Now, you get it, lady?
Yes.
Then, go on.
Afternoon, Mrs. Miller. I knocked and got no answer. But I rang the bell because, well, I'm sorry, but I knew you were home.
Yes, I went to get my bag.
Something wrong?
No. I'm just still a little out of breath after the stairs.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I took my own sweet time on them. It's one tough climb.
Here's the money.
Oh, thank you. And now I'll just make out the receipt.
Oh, that won't be necessary.
Oh, it won't take a moment. We're supposed to, you know. If I could just step in a minute, I'd like to say hi to Dave.
Oh, you can't.
Are you all right? You're acting kind of funny for you.
It's just Dave. He's not feeling so well, but he's lying down, and he has his bad day.
Oh, yes, I understand. Poor guy. Lousy thing to happen. I'll just scribble this against the wall. Well, just one more flight to go, and I've done my bit for the PBL. If I can make it.
Mrs. Schofield?
Yep.
I don't believe she's home yet.
Why, sure she is. I saw her in the corner grocery not 10 minutes ago, and she was on her way back then. Here's your receipt. I'll be seeing you.
Why didn't you stop him?
How could I?
Before he finds out what you've done, now is your chance to make your break. Oh, no, you keep your distance, helpless. I don't trust you.
What harm can I do you if you get away? I don't know what you look like.
Your wife here does. Let me think. If I close the old lady's door, maybe he'll think she went out again when she doesn't answer. Did I close the door? I don't remember. Or were her keys still in the lock?
Come here, Fran. Now, you better make it quick if you're getting out of here. And don't try any shooting. You can't hit Fran with her behind me.
You lousy...
Juan, are you down there?
You bet. And there was a stolen car.
Never mind that. You get out to our car and put in the 1020.
Hey, you got a DOA?
It looks like a homicide. And Juan?
Yes, Sergeant.
Cover the front door. Nobody goes in or out. There's a chance whoever did it is still in the building.
Hey, what's your fancy?
This one looks like your boy Top Dog.
Thanks, Earl.
Just get on the horn, will you, and get us some help.
That here's it. Hey, look out! Hey! Don't scream, Mrs. Miller. One peep, and it won't be a little pistol whipping for your hubby. I'll lay his brains open. Okay, helpless. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Well, then on your feet and in the bedroom. Hey, wait a minute. No fire escape. Fine, let's go.
What about my wife?
Oh, she stays with me. I need her. Now, listen, to both of you. This is a .38 I got in my hand. Now, I don't want to use it. Now, when that cop come around to check up, there ain't a sound from either one of you. Now, if he does come in, I'm in the closet. But, and I want you should listen close, Mrs. Miller. I can still blow that hole through your husband and the cop, and then you, if you don't follow orders. There he is now. Now, it's up to you, Mrs. Miller. Get in there, helpless. On your face in the bed.
Mrs. Miller?
I ain't closing the bedroom door.
Mrs. Miller?
Now, I can watch every move you make. Go ahead, Mrs. Miller. If anything goes wrong, I might even shoot you
Mrs.
first.
Miller!
Understand.
Well, I'm sorry to bother you again, Mrs. Miller.
What's the matter, Sergeant Henderson?
No, are you all right?
Why, has something happened? I was in the kitchen, and I thought I heard shouting.
That was me and Patrolman Rivera. No, I don't want to upset you, but there's been an accident upstairs.
Mrs. Schofield, is she...
She's dead. She was killed by a gunshot and robbed. Probably by a professional who goes by the name of Top Dog. He's a vicious, psychopathic killer, and there may be a possibility he's still in the building. If only we knew exactly when the shot was fired, we'd have a better idea. Maybe I'd better ask Mr. Miller.
Oh, he couldn't have heard anything. I told you, Sergeant, he isn't feeling well, and I'd given him a sleeping pill, and so he was dead to the world.
Oh, well, God knows I wouldn't want to disturb him. I'll go on checking, and I'd just be sure to keep that door closed and bolted, and don't open it to anyone till you're sure who it is.
That was close.
Now, what do you expect to do?
Right now, we're all going to sit down and relax until the excitement's over. And then I'm just going to walk right out.
Suppose they put a watch on the building.
Sit down, everyone. I've been thinking about that. Comes out easy. Once the cop gives Mrs. Miller the all clear, I get me a real good disguise and just the right kind of protection to get me away clean.
What's that?
Huh? Well, your wife here is going to take her poor blind husband for a little breath of air. Nice walk around the block. Only it'll be me in your turtleneck sweater behind the dark glasses and carrying the white cane.
You can't get away with it.
Why not? Once it's good and dark. No lousy cops still hanging around. It's almost dark. Hey, you. Hey, baby.
Yes?
Turn on the light so I can see. Okay. Now, pull the shades. And you can shove them shutters closed as well. Come on. Hey. Bet it's dark as the bottom of a well in here without lights, huh? Hey, how come a blind guy wants it so dark, huh?
Mike wasn't always blind. In fact, he used to be so sensitive to light.
Okay, spare the sob story now. Get me some more lights on while we're waiting for the coppers to take off, huh?
Yes.
Oh, boy, now, wouldn't you just like to have your hands on my throat? No gun, pair of eyes to see? I bet you think if we was on equal terms, you could take me.
I'd sure like the chance to try.
Well, you ain't getting it, baby. Hey, how's for some coffee, huh?
Coffee? No, I'm afraid I can't.
Of course you can, friend.
But you said we were out of instant.
Yeah, we are, but you can always make some in the percolator.
But the
Yeah, just plug it in. It's just what we need.
Oh, well, if you think
Oh, come on. No tricks. I'm standing right
Here where I can watch the both of you. Huh?
Okay.
Well, what are you waiting for? Now plug it in. Come on. Hey, what's this? Lock yourself in, friend. Hey, how did you fix the lights? I can't see. How do you like it? Ah, come on. Come on, where are you, helpless? You come near me, I'll fill you full of lead. Keep away from me or I'll shoot. That won't do you no good. I'll get to the window. I'm going to give me some light and then you're having a chance, not on even terms. If I could see you. If I can only see. If I could... On my turf now, buddy. I still got my gun. Some light. I'm in my wrist. Just one little more move and I'll break your arm with pleasure. All right, honey, I got him. I could handle 6 punch like this. Get his gun. It's right by my foot. Let me go, mister. I'll give you a break. Yeah, I'll give you a break. You shut your mouth or I'll break both of your arms.
I was so scared when I heard the shots, I thought it was all over.
All over? All over? Friend, honey, it's just beginning. No one is ever going to call me helpless again. First of all, myself. I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. That's my element. And you'll see. You'll see I'll find a way to make it work for me. Well, you better put in a new fuse. The police will need some light when they get here. Those shots will bring them running.
Oh, Dave, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, it's even better, Fran. So am I. I got my own pride back.
There are none of us without handicaps to overcome. And in the battle against them, pride is a good and just weapon. Dave Miller's is a great one, but he'll conquer now that he knows the way and has found the desire. Four years later, a man stands in the late afternoon, his head cocked back as if looking at the great skeleton of the new building that reaches towards the clouds. He's on the way to becoming a successful writer now. His book, The Skyscraper, is in its 7th printing. He has another important job of raising the 3-year-old who holds his hand, the son who was born in the dark of his mother's womb, almost at the same time his father was reborn. Our cast included Mason Adams, Augusta Dabney, Bryna Raeburn, Leon Janney, and Earl Hammond. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Now, a preview of our next tale.
Mark?
Yes, Doctor.
You are alone?
Yes.
Then follow me to the graveyard.
Will the rain make any difference?
There will be no rain there. We are expecting.
The old man was right. From the moment we left the gallows tree, the rain had stopped. And high above the scudding clouds, the fingernail of the brand new moon appeared and disappeared as if pointing straight at us.
Come with me to the grave. For the last time, I warn you, she is 6 years dead. Who knows what awesome creature of loathing I am to resurrect?
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. If your blood runs cold at specters rising from the moss-grown grave, or bloody murder of the innocent, while the evil and the damned hold sway, now is the time to leave. All right, if you prefer to stay, come with me now to the strange and forbidding house that fades and reappears strangely in the mists of the moors where it is situated. The house of Cadmus Melchior, where the handsome Baron Mark Staunton is making a request which sounds more like a command.
I want Melinda.
Must you invade my privacy? This laboratory is open to no one but me.
I was your son-in-law. I have the right. I cannot live without your daughter.
Melinda has been dead for 7 years.
But you can raise her from the grave. You must!
It's true. I believe I am very close at last to the elixir of life.
Then in God's name, use it to bring Melinda back to me.
No, not yet. Not yet.
You were so close to death yourself. What are you afraid of?
My fear is more for you. I warn you, my son. I warn you. Do not try to wake the dead.
Our mystery drama, The Spectral Bride, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Michael Wager and Joan Lorring. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. I'll be back shortly with Act One. I warn you, do not try to wake the dead. And yet, who among us who truly believed that some power could restore a loved one could be strong enough to resist the temptation? Let us remember, too, that in other days an alchemist was a man accorded most infinite respect. Quite apart from his search to transmute baser metal to gold, his basic interest was his humanistic effort to produce the cure-all, the elixir of life, which would alleviate and end all human pain. To a man like Baron Mark Staunton, the alchemist was a figure of total respect, almost adulation. And as for his daughter Melinda, but Mark can talk about her better than I.
Oh, that's a handsome filly.
A little short in the leg, I'd say.
Beneath that billowing skirt, how can you see? Oh, not the horse, cousin, the lady. Look at that. Take that wall. Beautiful.
Oh, I'll grant you the lady has a firm hand and an admirable seat. But she's a wild one, and highly selective.
Ah, so you've made your own advances and gotten your knuckles whacked?
Cousin Mark, if I didn't have a natural fondness for you, I could resent that. Particularly since it's true. But it goes a little deeper than that.
How so?
I am scarcely a man to be ridden by superstition. I distrust all philosophers, dreamers, astrologers, and most of all, the alchemist.
All right, I won't argue, but must the alchemist's daughter pattern herself on what her father thinks?
I couldn't figure out what the alchemist's daughter thinks or believes. She is too much for me. And like a good soldier, I know when to retreat and when to accept defeat.
But how am I to find out what she thinks or believes? Or what she's like?
That's simple enough. I may not have measured up, but I am still welcome at their home.
Can you take me there? Soon? When?
I don't know why I retain any family fondness for you. Your insistence on not going home without a bag full of grouse has kept us so late. The afternoon mists are already clouding the moor. It might be best to ride to Mantra Manor till they blow away with the setting sun.
Mantra Manor?
The center of your heart's desire. If Professor Cadmus Melchior is out of his laboratory and in a good mood, we may even enjoy some good mulled wine.
What about his daughter? Shall we meet her?
That will be strictly up to the lady, who has a mind of her own.
Does she also have a name?
Her name is Melinda. But if you'll forgive some friendly advice, she's as hard to gentle as your own stallion was.
Melinda. Not the way the name sounds.
What's in a name? But if it's your wish...
It's more than my wish. I know it as well as my name. Let's go! The alchemist was a tall, cadaverous man with piercing green eyes that gleamed like emeralds from the shadows beneath great tufted brows. But my own eyes had little time to spend on him. Instead, they followed Melinda as though controlled not by me, but by the spell of her presence. She had changed to a long white silken robe which clung to her body. Her face was impassive, but the long raven hair danced in curls against the white of her dress and her skin. And her eyes, so dark brown as to be nearly black, shone with excitement and mystery.
You picked a fortunate hour, Baron Hayward, to visit with me again. Just at the evening meal. You and your friend will join me?
After a day's hard riding, I would be honored to accept your invitation.
And your friend?
Mark? Mark! What? We have been invited to share the doctor's meal.
Most gracious of you, Dr. Cadmus.
First, some wine. Melinda?
Bruce.
Thank you, Melinda.
Sir?
From your hand, even wormwood and gall.
I trust you will find my wine more to your palate than that.
Sire?
Thank you, daughter. You may leave us alone now.
I could have killed him cheerfully. Naturally, I thought Melinda would be joining us. Here I was, already hopelessly in love, and instead of being able to feed my eyes on her, I had to face some strange gelatinous potion ladled from a steaming pot onto my plate.
When Bruce first came calling, he used to look on these potpourris of mine as if they contained newt's eyes, bat wool, and dog's tongues. I assure you, it is naught but the best of venison, flavored with some condiments my daughter and I favor.
I've never tasted better. And I speak for the wine also. Your taste, Doctor, is impeccable in all things. But does your daughter not join us for the meal?
My daughter leads her life like a cat. An untamed one, may I add. And especially with this visit, I think she feels there would be less strain with her absence.
Mark is my cousin, Doctor. He knows Melinda did not choose to marry me.
Does he also know that I was against the marriage?
No, sir.
Well, ask why. My cousin comes of a long and honorable line, and his wealth and position are secure. I know no finer man.
I will not speak for Melinda. For myself, write it off to the fact that no one else has a better grasp of my work. And I'm selfish enough to want to hold on to her just a few more years.
Why just a few? Have you so little time left?
My death is written in the stars. I'm not as selfish as you might think, but I am close, so close to the elixir of life that I hope I do not lose her help till that moment is here.
And you will hold her till then?
I will try. The end is all.
At my age, I'm less concerned with ends than with beginnings. My remark in itself might have seemed harmless enough, but the professor or doctor was supersensitive to underlying meanings, and those searching eyes turned on me as if they could search out the uttermost meaning of my soul. I felt for a moment as though a ghost had crept across my grave. Thank you for your hospitality, sir.
You are welcome, sir. I apologize only for having no household staff. All my slender resources go into my experiments. That's why I had to ask Bruce to go fetch your horses.
I should have gone with him. I lingered only in the hope of bidding good evening to the Lady Melchior.
And I held you only to suggest that you forget Melinda.
I'm afraid that would be an impossibility, Doctor.
I was afraid of that.
You object if I try to call on her?
I doubt if it would do any good. But my daughter is her own mistress. I can only caution you that...
Caution is for old men, Father, not for the young. Still, I am here in its name.
What do you mean?
The mist lies like a blanket on the moor. Even Bruce, as well as he knows the way, could not find it to the town, let alone Sir Mark. I have made up beds for both of them. They must stay and be our guests.
For myself, I accept gladly. But perhaps Dr. Melchior...
No. Melinda is right. It's as dark as a witch's pocket abroad. And unseasonably cold for these old bones. And besides, who am I to stand in the way of fate?
Go in, Father, dear. I shall see our guests settled and safe.
Settled? But safe? God's will be done. I shall see you in the morning.
Good night, Father.
Good night, Dr. Melchior.
Well, Sir Mark, shall we walk together to the stables and tell Bruce he need not saddle the horses?
Or to the end of the earth. And beyond.
Or to the end of the earth. And beyond. But we should tell Bruce.
Of course. If you'll lend me your hand to lead me the way.
Come.
It's beyond all reason, wild, improbable. But since I first saw you take your horse across that stone wall...
There's a gap in it not 3 feet away from where I went over, but I wanted to be sure you noticed me.
How could I have missed you?
Bruce might have wanted you to.
I know about you and Bruce. But there never was anyone more honest and true-hearted, and he loves me like a brother.
I think it would be very hard for anyone not to love you.
Even you.
It's scarcely seemly for the maid to make the first declaration.
Does it have to be put in words? The moment our eyes crossed, you knew. I love you from the present dark to tomorrow's dawn. And all tomorrows. From this first moment to the last. To the grave and beyond.
You don't even know me.
And teach me to learn.
It will not be hard. For I love you the same. Tomorrow we will say the words. The actual words that bind us.
Forever.
Will you love and protect me and never let me go, Mark?
You know I will.
Oh, I want time to stand still. I won't grow old.
It will for us. You never will for me.
Even if we're parted.
We won't be.
But should we be?
I'd kill myself.
No, never. I won't allow you to harm yourself. Just never stop loving me. Never. Promise me that, and I can never truly die.
I promise you, and you will not die. We were married and lived 6 months in such a state of bliss and absolute love that not one solitary thing, not even a vagrant thought of any world beyond us, intruded on our paradise. And then, one day, out riding.
I think your love is cooling. It needs reviving. Remember the first day you saw me? Will this fan the blaze?
Before I could move, she clapped spur to her horse and headed for a high stone wall. The approach was too short, and the horse could not clear the wall. His front legs crashed knee-high against the stone, and the horse and rider catapulted head over heels among a shower of rocks. By the time I got to Melinda, she was dead. No goodbye, just gone like a snuffed-out candle. Dead. Up a broken neck. father-in-law, in God's name?
I've been waiting for you, my son. I know.
You are the alchemist. Your elixir of life.
Another 6 months. But I have not yet found the key. We're both to blame for her death.
You knew it was coming?
If I had known for sure. But second sight is not infallible. And I wanted her happiness even above my mission in life. We both gambled and lost. Or perhaps I should say, all 3 of us.
Isn't there some hope that your elixir...
For centuries, that has remained a dream. Melinda is in the grave forever.
No, I'll never accept that. I'll find a way.
We cannot fly in the face of God, my son.
From this day forth, because of what he has taken from me, I renounce him. And I damn him to take his place with Lucifer and all the other fallen angels.
How easily in the heat of passion, of the agony of loss, the thoughtless words spring to our lips. How fortunate we are that so seldom are we held to account for them. But the Baron Mark Staunton was not to escape so easily, nor his unwilling partner, Dr. Cadmus Melchior, as we shall see when I return shortly with Act 2. Time, they say, heals all wounds, particularly if one is in the early 20s. And loneliness was far from Baron Mark Staunton's natural estate. Indeed, the extent of his physical estate made it incumbent on him to be married and to produce heirs who would maintain the line. And so, within the year, he had married well, unlike his cousin Bruce, still a bachelor.
Darling, why so pensive?
Oh, I was just thinking of poor lonely Bruce. I swear he enjoys our children more almost than we do.
I hope that isn't so with you. It certainly isn't with me, Mark.
Oh, Anne, my lovely wife and mother. No man could ask for a fuller, richer life than I have.
You find me a satisfactory wife?
You have all the love I have to give. Why should you question it?
It's foolish, I know, but every time Bruce comes to visit...
What?
Oh, I'm ashamed of myself, really. But it brings her to mind, and I ask God to forgive me for what I feel about a young girl who met a sad death so early.
We have never talked about my first wife before.
I must be growing older or more secure. But I do love you so.
Which makes us a pair of doves.
Thank you, my love. And now I must go up to the children's room and be a bear. I know how they adore their Uncle Bruce, but he does get them so excited with his games and fun, and I can never get them off to sleep. I'll send him down.
As I stepped to the fire to stir it up, somehow that simple exchange between a comfortably married man and wife had evoked another picture. That wild, tempestuous, selfish passion of 7 years ago. And from the glowing embers, the face of Melinda, dark eyes ablaze, hair flying in the wind. The face I had so long forced out of my mind suddenly faced me, accusing me, reminding me of all the irrevocable promises made in the heat of youth. I was glad to be interrupted as Bruce came to join me.
You lucky old sinner. 2 wives and kids like that.
What?
What's the matter? What ails you?
Oh, memories. More and more they haunt me. First it was only in my dreams, but now they invade my waking hours.
What are you talking about?
Melinda. What else?
All those years ago and still not out of your mind.
Is she out of yours? Bruce, how would you like a visitor by month's end?
You? Well, you know my hunting lodge is too small.
Just your old hunting companion. When the grouse season is at its height, Anne and the children go to visit Milady and Earl, and I would go to greater lengths to miss that dull, dreary household.
That's not fair to Anne.
Oh, not Anne, bless her. She's been the finest of wives and mothers, just her kin. Ah, for the sake of old ties and friendship, Bruce, free me for once from this deadly annual visit or part of it. Invite me, when Anne returns, to shoot with you over old grounds. A man's retreat to his own company.
It would be good to ride along with you again across the moors. Selfishly, I would welcome the visit.
A whole month?
Why would you miss me so much?
Every second of every minute of every hour of every day. That's all.
My gentle, kind, and loving Anne. Shall we split the difference? 2 weeks away from your mother's patronizing me and your father's cold dislike.
I'm sorry about my parents.
You more than I. You've had to suffer them all your life.
I know how much you've taken from them, and I hate going just as much as you. I go only for the children's sake, and because I owe them some respect. But I don't blame you for not wanting to be there. So go with Bruce, and be free for a little while. But meet me halfway, just 2 weeks.
I may be longing for all 3 of you before that and return.
I hope so. At least that you miss us. And no ghosts will haunt you from the past.
Ghosts?
Well, didn't your first wife come from nearby Bruce's lodge?
She did. And after 6 years under the ground, she is surely dead enough. And you know me well enough by now to know I hold no traffic in ghosts. And so I went with Bruce back into the past. Did I really believe it had no hold on me? Was the tomb I had built in the darkest recesses of my heart for Melinda total recognition of her death? Or did some irrational hope still burn like a flame? That first night at Bruce's hunting lodge, we drank more than we should have and stayed up far too late. It was the darkest hour before the dawn when I was awakened by... Huh? Asleep.
Mark! You have come back.
Melinda.
Look.
Melinda.
Look to the window.
Melinda, as you were.
As I could be. It's the 7th year. And 3 nights from now, the moon is new. Go to my father. Make him bring me back.
No. Melinda, let me talk to you now. Melinda!
What's going on?
Melinda. She was there just beyond the window. I could see her.
Oh, you're as drunk as I am. Nobody outside that window. It's 30 feet to the ground. There'll be no hunting tomorrow. We're due for heavy rain. Oh, my head is splitting. Let's both go to bed and sleep off our carousing.
I could ask for nothing better than that. But whatever sleep I had was fitful because, as Bruce had predicted, the rain came slanting down and the black clouds lay so low across the moors a man might have reached and touched them from the back of a tall horse. At last I could stand it no longer. I had to face the magnet which had drawn me back to my past. I looked in on my snoring cousin, breakfasted on black bread and brandy, and saddling my horse, rode for the alchemist's isolated home. Suddenly it was 7 years ago, and I almost expected Melinda to appear out of the fog.
Yes? Who is it?
You don't recognize your own flesh and blood?
All I have ever had of flesh and blood has lain moldering in the grave for 7 years.
I'm not so close then, I admit. But I was your daughter's husband.
What? Why should you return at this particular moment? Oh, first, come in. 'Tis foul weather. And chill enough in here. Alone, I cannot tend the fires and watch my experiments. What brings you here?
Melinda.
You are married with a wife and children. What does Melinda mean to you anymore?
My heart, my soul, my only real reason for being. What I was died with her. What I am is a dream I live. A dream no longer worth living. Especially after last night.
Come into my laboratory. It's the only place where there is warmth. What do you mean by especially last night?
I saw her.
Where?
Outside my window. It's at Bruce Hayward's lodge.
The sleeping quarters are on the second floor. It was but a dream.
I tell you, her spirit was there. She sent me here with a message.
What message?
That this was the 7th year, and in 3 nights the moon is new. She bade me tell you, bring her back.
No. I cannot listen to her plea.
Why not?
What do you know of science, any of you? The weary hours, the years of failure, and the curse of failing hope. The need for direct experiment and the lack of subjects to try it on. And beyond and deeper than that, the right, whether man has the right to meddle in the affairs of God.
That means you have found the elixir.
I didn't say that.
You must be close.
Close, yes. Close. And little hope of being closer. My age, and there is no more money.
Why not try it on yourself?
How do you suppose I have existed these past years?
On the elixir?
One person doesn't create proof. I can make so little, but I think it has sustained me.
And can't it do the same for Melinda?
Oh, that is so different. She has been dead for 7 years.
But you can raise her from the grave. You must.
Reflect on one thing. If she could be brought back from the beyond, you are hers forever. Be aware now that if I could bring Melinda back, you would never be rid of her. This marriage would be for eternity, forever, till the graves all open wide and the dead revive on Judgment Day. What you are risking here is your immortal soul.
If I must, I must.
So be it. The time will never be more advantageous. Meet me alone by the gallows tree, and I will transport you from there to the grave where Melinda waits for you. And me. But I warn you, if you value your life, do not keep our appointment. Do not try to wake the dead.
A woman moldering to dust in the fetid earth, to be brought back to life. And if his first wife lives again, what happens to Mark's second? And his children? And most of all, himself? Could he live with both? Or must he make a choice? Will he be allowed a choice? In attempting to give life to Melinda, is he perhaps signing his own death warrant? I'll be back shortly with Act 3. It was the poet Swinburne who said, "We thank with brief thanksgiving whatever gods may be, that no man lives forever, and dead men rise up never." Certainly all of us could subscribe to that and believe in it, and yet we could oppose that other famous quotation from Hamlet. "There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy." Let's see which proves more apt this time in this tale.
For 2 days I tried to find another world to escape to, but no amount of wine or liquor dulled my thoughts or dampened my hope. Fortunately, it had the opposite effect on Bruce, and so when I left on the night of the new moon for my rendezvous with the alchemist, he was out as if he'd been clubbed.
Mark?
Yes, Doctor?
You are alone?
Yes.
Then follow me to the graveyard.
Will the rain make any difference?
There will be no rain there. We are expecting.
The old man was right. From the moment we left the gallows tree, the rain had stopped. And high above the scudding clouds, the fingernail of the brand new moon appeared and disappeared as if pointing straight at us.
Come with me to the grave. For the last time, I warn you, wake not the dead. Let her rest.
Aye, let her rest. But upon me.
Reflect. She is 6 years dead. Who knows what awesome creature of loathing I am to resurrect?
Then if it be so, I will join her now.
It shall be as you wish. Step back. Now the Savior.
As I stepped back,
Glowing sun.
he took the sorcerer's stick and drew 3 circles about the tomb. As he traced them, he muttered words of enchantment as he completed the 3rd circle with a great flash of lightning. The stone rolled from the grave, and the coffin was revealed. Bats and owls rushed by. A rushing wind blew the earth, scattering the mold before it. And of a sudden, with a rending sound, the coffin lid burst open as the moonbeams streamed as bright as if it were the full. Then from the skull which Cadmus had filled with the smoking liquid, he poured the elixir on the grave, crying,
"The heart beats once more with the flood of life. Thine eye is open to sight. Arise, Melinda, from the tomb."
And suddenly, rising from the rotting wood as fresh as though it had been yesterday, pale and cold from her long sleep with the black eyes flashing, and that glorious black hair tumbling about her shoulders was my Melinda, alive and breathing. Thank you, my beloved doctor, for restoring her to me.
My last act, my last warning. We should have left the dead in peace. May God forgive me.
A flood of torrential rain made anything but emergency action possible. I had scarce time to fold my chilled and lovely bride in my arms before we had to drag her father to the tomb she had so recently risen from. Together we rolled the stone back into place. Melinda mounted my horse while I took the old man's. Darling, we'll ride to Bruce's lodge and warm you.
No, Mark, please. I want to go home.
In this weather, chilled as you are already.
My blood flows warmer every minute, and the longer ride will warm and bring me back to full life again. Is there any reason why we can't go home?
No reason in the world. Beloved, you're so cold, so cold.
How could you expect the chill of the grave to melt so soon?
Shall I take you to my bed and warm you with my body?
Too soon for that. You're not my husband anymore.
I am your lover.
Who broke your pledge to me. Remember.
Oh, Melinda,
You left me to rot in the grave.
I begged your father to try the elixir to raise you again. He said it was not ready. He told me he had foreseen your death if you married me. He felt it was God's will.
So you married another woman, and with her you conceived the children who might have been mine.
I did all that. But it was I who drove your father into bringing you back.
And now?
Anne and the children will not be back for 3 weeks. We have all that time together to renew our love.
For 3 weeks? And then?
Well, we will come to some arrangement, some place for you to stay, or part of the castle, or Anne back with her parents, whatever works best.
No! I want that woman out of my life.
Divorce. That would be next to impossible. The bishop
I'm
would
not interested in divorce. You will be all mine, or there is nothing between us.
She would have to die before
she'd give you up. Then let her die. Her time has come. There is only one way for me, as what I was, and will forever be, your wife. Alone.
I was warned. I should have known, admitted it. And I was trapped. I loaded my pistols and, mounting my horse, rode for my father-in-law's house and Anne. I had no clear idea of what my intent was. I was mad, of course, and possessed. I had to have Melinda no matter the cost. And Anne was in the way. At her father's castle, I found Anne in the turret. It was a mild evening with a soft wind blowing, and I didn't know what I would have to do after I'd explained it to her, like everything else in our life. She resolved it.
Hear the gulls cry in the distance, Mark. So strident when they are near. So mournful far away. It's like a sound I've heard faintly in my heart ever since we married.
I gave you all the love I had to give.
You said that once before. I should have read it more clearly. I thought Melinda could be forgotten. Vain thought now.
Oh, and what can I say?
Say? There's nothing to be said. What can you do? That's more to the point, isn't it? There are no halfways, and divorce would never be recognized. So what? Shall you shoot me?
No.
I wouldn't want to force you to do that. I used to come up here when I was a little girl, and I would think, how lovely if I could step from this turret, spread my skirts, and fly like the seagulls, skimming downward to the sea. It's because I love you, you see. Go fast, for no one knows you're here. Take care of the children.
Anne! No!
Goodbye. I love you.
She was gone before I could reach her. Her skirts spreading like wings, but too weak to hold her up against the crags below. How long do you decently mourn a wife? Certainly more than 3 short weeks. But Melinda could not shake her chill, and the roses, once so bright in her cheeks, seemed fading, and the luster of her hair and eyes dimming. To have her in my bed, she must be my wife, and I felt that only I could bring her life again. To save her, anything was worth it. The censure of my neighbors, the sullen resistance from my servants, even the disgust from my old friend Bruce.
I'm as mad as you are to stand up with you at this wedding.
I cannot live without her, Bruce.
Was there ever such a wedding? At least don't take your pistols to the altar.
I carry them everywhere I go. No one believes I did not push Anne to her death. There is no one, perhaps save you, who would not like to see me dead. You and Melinda. Oh, God,
Look at her in that white veil and pure white dress. Was anything ever lovelier? I was drunk with love and undeserved happiness. The ceremony went by in a daze until at last I turned to put the ring on her finger. In sick horror, I gazed at her hand. A skeleton's hand. The jointed bones with their shreds of desiccated flesh disintegrating in my hand. With a cry of agony, I stepped back and whipped the veil away from her face. Two socketless eyes looked blindly at me from the crumbling skull. Then, slowly, her whole frame collapsed inside the beaded dress to a pitiful heap of empty silk. Melinda was gone, and there was only one way I could join her. Mark! Take care of the children. It was all foretold. The alchemist knew only way Melinda and I can be with each other.
It was Cadmus Melchior the alchemist who knew it as a philosopher, and yet was as weak as Mark, who was only a man who loved too well. We cannot fly in the face of God, and, I warn you, do not try to wake the dead. Such is the story of the Spectral Bride. I'll be back shortly. I don't know at what hour you heard this story, or what season of the year. For me, whenever I tell it, even on a summer's evening, some hint of old age always creeps into my bones. The fingertips chill, and my wife complains of cold feet. Mine. It does chill the blood, no doubt of it. And I hope it isn't true. Our cast included Michael Wager, Joan Lorring, Patricia Elliott, Robert Dryden, and Jordan Charney. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Now, a preview of our next tale.
You'll help George.
I've always helped him. I'll still help him after I'm dead.
Walt. Oh, Walt.
Mrs. Loomis, you must leave now.
After I'm dead, I'll come back for George.
Mrs. Loomis.
Yes. Goodbye, Walter. Goodbye for now. Doctor.
I'm sorry, but there isn't a chance in the world. He can hang on for minutes, days, but we can't save him.
But I was just talking to him. You heard.
I heard nothing. He wasn't saying anything.
But I heard him. I heard him.
Mrs. Loomis, it's just your imagination.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the world of fantasy that is your imagination. What am I saying? One's imagination a fantasy world? Nonsense. Rubbish. I should have said the world of reality. For what can possibly be more real than that which the imaginative powers of the brain conjure up? You question that? Consider then what happened to lovely, imaginative Nicky Carpenter.
You can't be serious.
You know I am, Nicky.
But what you're saying, it's nonsense.
You think so? You really think so, Nicky?
Alicia, Amanda, imagination didn't kill them.
True enough, my darling. But imagination, yours, will kill you.
Our mystery drama, Murder to Perfection, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by George Lowther and stars Mercedes McCambridge and Joseph Campanella. Few will deny that what we call imagination is the greatest creative, yes, and destructive force known to the human race. The paintings of the Sistine Chapel existed inside the head of Michelangelo before he expressed them on canvas. Bach, Beethoven, Brahms heard their music in imagination before setting the notes to paper. This being so, you will understand how the story I am about to tell you, though bizarre, strange, macabre in the extreme, is true in every detail.
Nicky, dear.
Yes, Bill?
It's 11:30. The funeral chapel. They'll be closing it for the night in half an hour. I'll be going home.
Alicia looks so lifelike there in the casket. I find it so hard to believe she's dead.
I know.
He murdered her, Bill.
No, Nicky.
Yes, he did. I know you think the sun rises and sets on your brother, but he murdered my sister. He murdered Alicia as surely as she lies dead in that coffin.
Nicky, dearest, you're tired and overwrought. You've been here all day, all night. You're exhausted thinking things that simply can't be so, saying things that make no sense. Guy loved Alicia. Why, in the year of their marriage, he was the most devoted husband a wife could ask for.
Excuse me.
Oh, Guy, come in.
Bill, Nicky, I thought everyone would be gone by now, that I could spend a little time alone with Alicia.
We were just leaving, Guy.
No, I'm not. I want to be with Alicia as much as possible until she's buried tomorrow.
That's exactly the way I feel.
Oh, you liar.
Nicky.
You killed her. You murdered her in cold blood.
Nicky's overtired, Guy, overwrought.
Yes, of course, but even so, I don't understand. I mean, to say a thing like that.
Well, it's true. You know it is.
Now, look here, Nicky. Alicia fell or jumped from our apartment window. There was no one else in the apartment at the time, not even me. I was at my office downtown, so just where do you get this crazy, wild idea that I killed her? I don't know.
Well, you will.
What do you mean?
I mean that I'm going to prove that you murdered her. If it takes every cent I have in the world, if I have to dedicate the rest of my
Bill,
life to it.
Take her home and call a doctor. She needs sedation.
Yeah. Come on, Nicky. Nicky, sweetheart, haven't you looked at her long enough?
Guy will pay for killing you, Alicia. I promise you that. I promise. Yes, Nicky Carpenter. Oh, hello, Jacques. No, I'm not ready to announce my latest designs yet. Denim and suede combo. Where did you hear that? Oh, I'm sorry, Jacques. I'm not telling. Not this early. Yes, just as soon as I'm ready to announce, I'll make sure that you're the first one to know. Bye. Yes.
Oh, of course. Bill, darling, what a lovely surprise.
Hey, I'm not interrupting you in the midst of a creative brainstorm, am I, dear?
Oh, the man I madly love and am going to marry could never be an interruption. But this visit is unexpected.
I've got something serious to talk over with you.
Oh?
It's about my brother Guy.
Yes.
I find this a little awkward, Nicky.
Awkward? Why?
Well, you and I are engaged, and Guy, he's my brother. And so the whole situation... Nicky, have you hired a private detective agency to check up on Guy?
Yes.
But why?
Because he murdered my sister, Alicia, and I intend to prove that he did.
Come on now, Nicky. How can you go on saying such a thing, thinking such a thing? Whatever gave you the idea in the first place?
Guy, for one.
Guy?
I don't like him. I never have. Charming, yes, loaded with charm, and handsome and witty, and in my opinion, a deceitful fraud.
He just rubs you the wrong way. Even if everything you say is true, it doesn't make him a murderer.
Well, I think differently.
But you must have a reason, something more than just disliking someone.
I have. Alicia fell or jumped to her death from the window of their 12th-story apartment.
Accident. Suicide, perhaps. Not murder.
Yes, murder.
How in heaven's name can you say...
Because Alicia was scared to death of heights. In all her life, when we were kids together, she wouldn't dare go near an open window more than 2 stories above the ground. So what was she doing at that open window 12 stories above the ground?
I don't know. But it certainly doesn't make a murderer out of my brother.
Not on the face of it, no.
Guy loved Alicia. Why would he murder her?
For the $250,000 he got from her insurance.
Honey, you're letting that imagination you're so famous for run away with you.
I may be known for my imagination. But the private detective I hired isn't.
What does that mean?
I didn't know that Guy had lived in Europe for nearly 15 years. You never told me.
It never came up. But what's that got to do with...
He was out of touch with you, completely, totally out of touch all those years, right?
Well, yes. I had no idea where he was.
Did you know that he'd been married twice while living abroad?
What? No.
And that both wives died under what is usually called mysterious circumstances, leaving your brother more than $500,000 in cash?
Good Lord, no. I never knew this. Guy has never told me anything about any of this.
Well, maybe you ought to ask him about it.
Well, to be honest about it, Nicky, I've never cared much for Guy either, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, I think it is. And it certainly confirms my feelings about him.
Feelings aren't facts. And it's facts that stand up in a court of law, and that's where you're going to find yourself if you don't drop this whole ridiculous thing. Guy intends to sue you if you don't. Sue you for defamation of character. And as a lawyer, I can tell you he'd win, hands down. Unless you could prove your accusations, hands down.
Well, then I have nothing to worry about. He murdered his first 2 wives. He murdered my sister. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And before I'm through, I'll prove it. What do you want?
I don't think it's a matter of what I want, but what you want. May I come in?
There's nothing I want from you, Guy.
Oh, you do. Believe me, you just don't know it. Yet. However, if you're not interested...
No. Wait. Come in.
I knew you'd change your mind.
You seem very sure of yourself.
Well, I'm sure of you, anyway. You see, Nicky, you're gifted with a vivid imagination. At least, so they say in the fashion column.
Well, they have to manufacture news. They exaggerate.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. They don't exaggerate in the slightest. I just proved that.
You proved it?
I knew once I had something you wanted, your imagination would invent all sorts of interesting possibilities. And you'd be unable to turn me away until you found out.
You're very clever. Well, what do you want? I beg your pardon. What is it I want?
Well, one thing you want is peace of mind, the ability to do your work. Another thing you want is to go on living in this very swank penthouse apartment, enjoying the fruits of the fortune you possess. Nicky,
I can take all of that away from you.
Oh, can you?
And will. Unless you, as they say, call off the hounds.
The private detectives.
The private detectives.
There'll be no calling off of the hounds, Guy.
All right. Then I shall sue you for defamation of character. Sue for every penny you possess.
I have not defamed you. Neither I nor the private detectives have said a word to anyone.
But I have.
You?
Of course. I knew you were taking precautions to keep your skirts clean until you could prove your suspicions. So, I upset your precautions merely by dropping the right words in the right place. Amanda Jordan being one of the right places.
That poor, sad alcoholic.
Alcoholic. Yes. Sad? Yes. Poor? No. Dripping with money. That's why I'm marrying her on the 10th.
You are marrying...
You object? Save your breath. Do you no good. The point is, being alcoholic, Amanda talks a storm. She also gets around. What you're doing to me, Nicky, or trying to do to me, is all over town this very minute. And in the right places. If we went to court tomorrow, I could prove on unimpeachable evidence that you have hired detectives to dig into my past to substantiate false accusations you have made against me. Accusations, I may add, which happen to be anything but false. But you can't prove them, Nicky, and never will.
Are you standing there telling me that you did? That you are?
A murderer? Oh, yes. Oh, you're altogether right. I did murder them. All three. Your sister Alicia included.
Oh.
But, you see, all three murders were so cleverly engineered and executed that no one would ever believe I had done them, let alone succeed in proving that I had.
My God. To stand there and tell me to my face that you're a murderer, that you murdered my sister.
As I shall murder Amanda Jordan, thus executing another perfect crime. A murder to perfection, you might say. What are you doing?
I'm phoning Amanda.
Phoning Amanda? To tell her that I'm going to kill her? Nicky, please, don't be a fool. Put the phone down.
No.
All right, go ahead.
Amanda, this is Nicky Carpenter. Nicky Carpenter. Yes, Amanda, are you... Oh, Amanda, can you understand me?
Smash, I could have told you that.
Amanda, listen to me.
That'll be the day.
Amanda, please listen carefully now. Guy is here with me in my apartment, and he has just told me that he intends to murder you. Yes, I know you're going to marry him. That's the point of what I'm telling you. He's... No, I'm not inventing it. I am not a jealous fool. She
didn't believe you? In her hazy alcoholic way?
Oh, you are evil. You are a devil.
I haven't hesitated to tell you what I do, Nicky, because there's no way ever you can prove anything. But there's every way I can prove that you've damaged my career and altogether left yourself open to what are called punitive damages. A great big lump of punitive damages.
You evil...
And if what I've told you fails to persuade you to call off the hounds, I can still take one more step.
One more step?
Kill you, Nicky.
Oh.
Kill you. And no one the wiser.
Imagination. It plays like heat lightning in dark and ominous skies inside the heads of two people, Nicky Carpenter and Guy Weston, each seeking to combat, to outwit the other. The imaginative force within Nicky is good, that within Guy, evil. Certainly at the moment, it would appear that Nicky is helpless, that Guy has her where he wants her, that she must lose the battle. He win. Well, we'll see when I return shortly with Act 2. No such thing as the perfect crime. If that's what you've always thought, think again. for it certainly appears that Guy Weston knows how to murder to perfection. He is so sure of himself that he's candidly told his brother's fiancée, Nicky Carpenter, that he not only murdered her sister, but 2 previous wives. Furthermore, he's freely admitted that he intends to murder his next wife, Amanda Jordan, and may even do away with Nicky.
Do you mean to say that he stood there and confessed to you?
Not confessed. He bragged. He boasted. Flaunted their murders in my face and said he intended to murder Amanda after they're married.
Oh, I can't believe this, Nicky. I just can't.
He's hit on a way of committing the perfect murder.
Nonsense.
Bill, listen to me.
No, Nicky, you listen to me. I don't know what's caused all this. I know you're overtired. I know you're knocking yourself out to get your next fashion show ready. But whatever it is, Nicky, dear, stop it.
Stop what?
These imaginings of yours, these wild accusations about my brother being a murderer, a perfect murderer yet.
Bill, he killed Alicia.
He did not kill Alicia. Alicia fell or jumped from a 12-story window when Guy was in his office miles away. So how in heaven's name could he have killed her?
I don't know. That's what I'm hoping the private detective I hired will come up with.
You're still using a private detective?
Of course.
I warned you, Guy will sue you for everything you've got on grounds of slander, defamation of character, and win.
I know. He told me that himself. He also said that if I push him far enough, he might even murder me.
I'm just not going to believe this. I can't believe it. I'd be an absolute nut to believe it. As nutty as...
As me? Huh? Is that what you're saying? I see. Well, in that case, Bill, I think I'd better give this back.
You're giving me back our engagement ring?
Yes.
Nicky, you're letting...
No. I am not overtired. I am not letting my imagination run away with me. I did not create or invent what I just told you about Guy coming to see me. It's true, every word of it.
Nicky.
Please. He will kill Amanda if I can't stop him. And he'll kill me if, as he puts it, I don't call off the hounds. Well, Bill, I may be a nut with an imagination that's running wild, but I'd say Guy wants me to call off the hounds because he's scared to death they'll run him to the ground. And I'm betting that they will. Betting everything I have. My fortune, my career, my life.
You ask me, she needs a psychiatrist.
She's just terribly tired, exhausted.
So because she's tired, I'm supposed to let her slander me? Wreck my career, my life? Do you know that because of that crazy phone call Nicky made to Amanda almost called off our engagement?
Well, she didn't. You're married. No harm done.
Hello, Amanda? Nicky. Amanda, I'm just calling to tell you that Guy's going to murder you after you're married. Now, that's a hell of a thing to say. I mean, that's just a plain hell of a thing. And when that tape is played in court...
Tape? What tape?
Amanda had a tape recorder hooked to her phone. Automatically taped messages. She's alcoholic, and most of the time she can't remember who called her about what, so she records all conversations.
Guy, do me a favor, will you? Destroy that tape and call off your suit against Nicky.
Oh, Bill, I can't. The accusations she's made, everybody knows about them. Nobody believes them, of course. At least, I hope nobody believes them. But she's made a laughingstock of me, Bill. I just can't sit back and do nothing to protect myself.
I suppose not. Well, thanks for your time, Guy. I'll see you.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Oh, well, hell, you're my brother. I'll do it for you.
Will?
Yes, but with one proviso, Bill.
Name it.
One more word out of her about me. One more crazy accusation, and I'll nail her to the wall. So help me, I will.
There'll be no more accusations. I'll see to that. Somehow, I'll convince her.
Excuse me. Yes, Miss Mason. Captain? Of the police? Well, sure, of course put him through. Now, what can this be about? Yes, Captain, this is Guy Weston. You're calling from my home? But what are you doing? Of course I can come home right now, but what's happened? Captain, stop beating about the bush. What the hell has happened? When? What? You're sure? Yes, I'll be there as fast as I can make it. What? Amanda dead. Dead? Amanda? He said, the captain, a combination of alcohol and sleeping pills. Oh. Easy. Look, I'll go home with you. Yes. Please, get my hat and coat. Here, your coat. Let me help you. Thanks. Oh, Bill, I guess you know this means I can't call off my suit against Nikki. Because Amanda's dead? Nikki's accusations, everybody will believe they're true now. Well, I've got to prove they're not. I'm going through with the suit, Bill. I have no option.
What do you want?
Wait a minute, Nikki. Don't close the door. Let me in.
I'd as soon let in a snake.
If I was afraid of snakes, I'd want to keep an eye on them. Know what they're up to. You better let me in, Nikki.
All right, Guy. Make it quick. No, don't sit down. You won't be staying that long.
Oh, I think I will. I got a lot to say to you, Nikki.
Well, then say it. And get out.
First thing I want to say is that, of course, Amanda's death was no accident.
I know that.
The second thing I want to say is yours won't be either.
What?
You've gone white. Well, I can't say I blame you. I'd be scared, too, if someone told me I was going to kill myself.
Oh? I'm going to kill myself. Commit suicide, just like that.
Mm-hmm, just like that.
And you're going to see to that.
I am.
And what reason will I have for taking my own life?
Guilt. Shame.
Guilt? Shame over what?
Of making false accusations against a certain Guy Weston. Me.
The accusations I made against you were true, not false. So why should I feel any guilt or any shame?
Yeah, Nikki, you are going to murder yourself, so to speak, just as my European wives did. As Alicia did. As Amanda did. Since you're going to be my next victim, I should think you'd like to know how it's all going to be accomplished.
I am not in the least interested.
I'm going to tell you anyway. I've said this before, and I apologize if I bore you. But I am quite possibly the only person in the world who has discovered how to commit the perfect murder. Would you believe that I found myself taking karate lessons in Japan when I was there? Now, so help me, I did. And suddenly, one day, the thought crossed my mind, if you can use an opponent's physical strength or weakness against him, why can't his mental strength or weakness be used against him as well? The answer quite simply is, of course, it can.
Well, I don't see how.
You will. You will, my darling, you will. Now, consider Alicia. I had only to find her weakness to ensure her death. And I did. Her weakness was agoraphobia. That's the intense fear of heights. The reason such people fear heights is because they have a powerful, often overwhelming compulsion to throw themselves off into space. Well, such was Alicia's weakness. The weakness that I turned against her.
How?
Simply by laughing at her, showing contempt for her fears, taunting her for her inability even to go near a high window. I needled her, goaded her, irritated her until, to strike back at me, to prove me wrong, she would go to that 12th-story window of our apartment again and again, and open the window and stand looking down at the traffic far, far below and say to me, "See, I can do it."
Oh.
And she did. Until the day I knew would come sooner or later, the day her nerve broke, compulsion overcame her, and she threw herself to her death.
Oh, you...
Now, wait, no, claws.
Please.
Don't you try your claws on. Don't you try your claws on me again. Now, as for Amanda, her weakness was alcohol and sleeping pills. My first step in murdering her was merely to replace her pills with placebos, which, of course, had no effect. Now, when she complained, I told her she probably needed stronger sleeping pills, and saw to it that she got them, along with plenty to drink, you understand. Her death was a foregone conclusion. Once again, using my victim's weakness against her, She killed herself. And I, the real murderer, remain scot-free.
And I am your next victim.
You are. You'll be dead within 2 weeks. In fact, you don't know it, but you've already written your suicide note. On this.
That's one of those shirt pocket tape recorders.
That, as you see, I was carrying in my shirt pocket. Everything we've said to each other since I came through that door has been recorded on this tape.
Yes, but I did not record a suicide note.
Correction. You will have. Once I have edited and altered the tape, then re-recorded it. I'll let you hear it. Well, that's the least I could do.
And perhaps you'd be good enough to tell me what strength or weakness of mine you intend to use against me.
With you, no weakness. Strength.
Which is?
Come on, you know your strong point as well as I do. You tell me.
It's my imagination.
Precisely. Within 2 weeks or less, Nicky, you're going to be dead.
Huh?
Murdered. By your own imagination.
Murdered by her own imagination? How in the world can that be done? Come to think of it, people have been killed by terror, by sudden fear, overwhelming panic. But it can't happen that way with Nicky. She's too strong, too self-controlled. What way, then? What plan has Guy in mind? We'll find out shortly when I return with Act 3. Can your imagination kill you? Murderer Guy Weston says it can, and since he's been eminently successful in doing away with a number of victims, it would appear that Nicky Carpenter is about to become his latest. He won't kill her. Oh, no. She will kill herself, the instrument of death being her own imagination. Up to now, Guy Weston has murdered to perfection. Up to now.
Hello?
Hello, Nicky. This is Guy. No, don't hang up. I want to play your suicide note to you.
If you think you can scare me...
Scare you? That's not my purpose at all, Nicky. I simply want to keep you in touch. Now then, here's the first step to your murdering yourself. Listen.
The accusations I made against Guy Weston were false. I feel guilt, shame. I'm going to kill myself. Commit suicide.
There it is, Nicky. Your suicide note in your own voice, recorded by you on the tape recorder. That will be found in your apartment.
You vile, evil...
Bye for now, Nicky.
Now, Nicky.
Bill. Oh, Bill, you've got to help me.
Of course I will, sweetheart.
I'm so sorry I broke our engagement. That was stupid of me. But I was so upset and frustrated.
Don't you think I realize that? The nice thing about a broken engagement is that it's easily repaired by putting the ring back on the girl's finger. Now hold out that pretty hand of yours, young lady.
Oh, Bill.
And now a kiss to make sure the repair holds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a repair that'll hold forever.
It will, my darling, it will.
Now then, new fashion season or no new fashion season, you're going to take a week off.
A week off?
At least a few days. Get away from work, out from all the pressure you've been under.
Bill, what are you saying?
I'm saying that I'm going to take you up to my place on the lake for a long weekend. See that you rest, relax, and recuperate from the heavy workload you've been... Well, what is it?
You haven't believed a word I said.
Well, now, Nicky...
No, everything I've told you. Guy admitting he's a murderer, saying he's going to see that I kill myself, the fake suicide note he tricked me into taping. You don't believe any of that.
Nicky, sweetheart, we've been through all this. But you broke your engagement to me because of it. Now, don't...
Please, will you believe me? Will you please believe that what I'm telling you is true? Your brother, Guy, is a murderer. He murdered my sister, Alicia, by tricking her into jumping out of a window. And he murdered Amanda, as he said he would, and as I told you he would.
Amanda died from combining alcohol with sleeping pills.
Sleeping pills that were any number of times stronger than anything she ever took before. Your brother murders people by tricking them into murdering themselves. And he's told me that he's going to do the same to me.
By maneuvering you into killing yourself with your own imagination? Nicky, be reasonable. You know you'll do no such thing. Sure. You're a highly imaginative woman, but you're also a very practical, down-to-earth woman.
If only I could convince you
Let me convince you of something. Convince you that one of the best things you could possibly do would be to...
Yes? To what?
Have dinner with me tonight and go to the theater afterward.
Oh, Bill.
Look, I'll pick you up at 6:30. Cocktails, dinner, and any play or musical you want to see. Date?
Oh. Date.
Oh, excuse me. My name's Bill Weston, and I believe I have a date for dinner in the theater with a very charming young woman.
Yes, you have.
And is she ready?
Just about. All she has to do is put on her hat and gloves.
Not before she gives her husband to be a kiss.
What? Spoil my makeup? You have to wait till we get back.
Something to look forward to. Hey, snazzy hat. You do something for us.
Thank you. Ow.
What's that?
Ooh. There's something in the finger of this glove. Look, my finger's bleeding.
Let me see. Oh, your finger's cut.
Well, how could I possibly cut my finger on a glove?
Just a sec. Turn the glove inside out. Well, how did this get inside your glove?
What? What is it? I don't see it.
Oh, it's so small you can't hardly see it. A tiny bit of glass.
How could anything like that get inside my glove?
I don't know, but...
Oh, dear. Excuse me. Hello?
Guy, Nicky.
Yes.
Brother Bill told me he's taking you to dinner in the theater tonight.
So what of it?
Nicky, don't wear gloves tonight.
Don't wear...
Oh, dear. I'm too late. You've already put them on, have you? And cut your finger?
Yes.
Oh, well, just a scratch. I mean, nothing to worry about. Unless the bit of glass inside your glove was poisoned.
Poisoned? Hello? Hello?
Honey, what is it?
He hung up.
Who?
Your brother Guy. My murderer.
Nicky? How do you feel?
Sick. My head aches. My stomach's upset.
But if Dr. Wells said he could discover no signs of poison...
He won't be sure until he's tested the blood sample he took. Why doesn't he phone?
Here. The devil. I'll run with the doctor. Hello? Yes, doctor. Oh, good. Well, doctor, we appreciate your coming over and all you've done. Thanks again, doctor. Not a trace of poison, Nicky.
Well, then why do I feel so awful?
I guess because you thought you might have been poisoned. But you weren't, honey. It was just all in you.
Say it, Bill. It was all in my imagination.
Then you admit, Guy, you telephoned Nicky last night.
What is this, Bill? Some kind of inquisition? You walk into my office the first thing in the morning and start shooting questions at me as if I were guilty of something. Yes, I did phone Nicky last night. What about it?
What did you phone her about?
To tell her I was withdrawing the suit I brought against her for defamation of character.
You are withdrawing it?
Yeah, I know I said I'd have to go through with it, but, well, you are my brother. And she is your fiancée, and well, hell, I just couldn't go through with it, that's all.
And that's what you phoned her about?
What else would I phone her about? Well?
Forget it, Guy. Forget it.
What could be... Well, it's 3 a.m. Who can be calling? Hello?
Nicky, listen. The accusations I made against Guy Weston were false. I feel guilt, shame. I'm going to kill myself. Commit suicide.
Pleasant dreams, Nicky. Pleasant dreams.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I ask you, all of you, who you think you are. I mean, I am Nicky Carpenter. I created the Nicky Carpenter collection, and not you.
Nicky, please.
Oh, shut up. I've heard enough out of all of you. Now, you listen to me. When I ask for black mousseline, I want black mousseline. And when I ask for white file, I want white file. I don't care what your reason is. Don't change my orders. Now, get out of here, all of you. The lot of you. Get out. Get out. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Please. Please, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, please. Please.
Yes? Yes, put him through. Yes, Dr. Welch. Well, I'm worried about her, too. She's not sleeping, not eating, a bundle of nerves. I'm wondering if you could recommend a good psychiatrist. Why? Because I think she's in need of psychiatric help. Huh? Well, I'll certainly come to see you. When? Right. Be in your office in half an hour.
Hello.
3 a.m. and you answer at once? Not sleeping, Nicky?
Oh, what do you want?
Question is, what you want. What your imagination has brought you to wanting. Death.
I won't listen to you.
No need. Listen to your imagination. That's what you've been doing. Imagining how, just quite how, you'll reach the point where you'll kill yourself.
You, myself.
The gun is in the drawer of your night table.
Oh.
Save yourself a lot of agony, Nicky. Use it. Tonight. Now.
Bill. Yes, Guy? It's late. They'll be closing the chapel in half an hour. Everybody's gone.
I want to stay with Nicky, be with her as much as possible until she's buried tomorrow.
There's no good to punish yourself, Bill. She's gone. Nothing you can do now.
But could I have done something before?
Before?
Listen to her fears, her worries. Guy?
Yes?
I'd like to look at her before... Could you ask someone to come in and open the casket?
You don't want that?
Yes.
No.
Guy, please.
Bill, she isn't presentable. You know, a gun to the temple.
Yes. All right. But I'll stay till they close the chapel at midnight. I won't do the same for you, though, Guy.
You won't? For me?
When you're lying in your casket to be buried next morning, I'll not sit with you, keep no vigil for you. Not for a murderer.
You're saying some very funny things, Bill.
I know you killed Nicky.
You what?
I know you killed her, made her kill herself, drove her to it.
Bill, I think you could use a drink.
You can use a lawyer. Get yourself one. I've got you with the goods, brother.
What are you talking about?
I was there in Nicky's apartment when you called and told her about the gun. I heard every word on the phone extension. I made a point of staying with her constantly after a little conference I had with Dr. Welch, Nicky's physician, who convinced me that she was as sane as I am, living on the edge of nerves rubbed raw, driven to the end of her rope, her emotional rope, and imagining things.
You were there when I phoned?
Oh, more to it than that, Guy. I went to your place, found the original tape, the one you recorded her suicide note from.
You're lying.
Am I?
You couldn't have found the original tape. I destroyed it.
Then there was an original.
What?
You just admitted there was an original tape from which you recorded, edited, altered, and re-recorded Nicky's suicide note.
All right. All right, you're so bloody damn smart. All right. I did kill her the way I killed the others, by using their weaknesses, their strengths, so they would kill themselves. So do me something. Huh? Prove something. So I slipped. I admitted there was an original tape, so what? Who heard me say it? You? Me? Her? She's dead.
No, Guy. I'm alive. I'm very much alive.
Vicky?
You have been tricked this time. I did not kill myself. It was all faked.
Once I was convinced Nicky was telling the truth, trapping you, Guy, was simple.
Trapping me? You haven't trapped me.
But we have. You've admitted everything.
Who heard me? You? Her?
And you, Guy. You.
You think I'd testify against myself in a court of law? Testify against myself?
As a matter of fact, you will.
You're crazy.
But this isn't.
A tape recorder. A shirt pocket tape recorder.
You used this same little device to drive Nicky to suicide and failed. I'll use it to send you to jail. And, Guy, I'll succeed.
And so, imagination. This time not only Nicky's, but Bill's imagination, the most powerful force on Earth, for good or ill, brings an insidiously clever murderer to ground. I'll be back shortly. When you first joined me, I spoke of imagination as a world of fantasy, then corrected myself to say it is a world of reality. I'd like to correct myself again. It is truly a world of fantasy and reality. Question is, which is it? When? Our cast included Mercedes McCambridge, John Newland, and Joseph Campanella. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. I'm E.G. Marshall. The story I bring you is one of the most curious I've ever encountered. For what happened to pretty little Amy Prentice shouldn't happen to, well, to you. Put yourself in Amy's place. You arrive one day at the home of your fiancé, Jack Morton, and...
Jack, darling, I'm here.
I beg your pardon?
I'm here. I mean, here I am.
You're here, all right, but who are you?
Who am I?
Look, if you're some kind of saleswoman,
Jack,
we're really not...
Please stop kidding. I'm Amy Prentice, your fiancée.
You're crazy. That's what you are. I've never seen you or heard of you in my life. Mystery drama,
The Bride That Wasn't was written especially for the Mystery Theater by George Lowther and stars Janet Waldo and Ann Seymour. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Contact, the 12-hour cold capsule. I'll be back shortly with Act One. We've all had odd, unexplainable things happen to us. Sometimes we put them down to tricks of memory, a curious combination of circumstances, or an occurrence that was simply inexplicable, and have then dismissed them from our minds. Perhaps Amy Prentice should have done that, but alas didn't. When she arrived at the home of her fiancé, Jack Morton, all set to get married, only to have Jack tell her,
"I've never seen you or heard of you in my life. Goodbye."
Wait a minute. Now, wait just
You
a minute.
heard me, sister. Beat it.
Sister? Beat it? Jack Morton, I don't know what this is all about.
What is it, Jack? What's wrong? Yes, what seems to be the trouble?
Well, this girl claims she knows me.
Claims I know you. We're engaged. Engaged to be married.
Married? Oh, my dear young lady, you're suffering from some sort of delusion. That, or you're playing some sort of game. Now, you just get along out of here. Oh, now, Mother. I mean it, Florence. I'll call the police if she doesn't. No, the poor girl, whatever her problem, looks terribly tired.
You'd be tired, too, if you'd come all the way from Midvale in a day coat.
Come in. Come in and at least have a cup of tea.
Oh, I don't think so. Not now. Not after this reception I just got.
Well, that's just fine with us. Take off.
Jack, how can you act this way? Oh, honey, I don't know what this is all about, but you come on in and have a cup of tea with
No,
us.
you get out of here. Go away or I'll call the police.
Now, Mother, you know you'll do no such thing. This young woman is obviously in some sort of trouble, and it's up to us to help her if we can. Jack, you pick up her bag and bring it in. And, honey, you come on along with me.
I don't know.
Oh, nonsense. Come on, dear. All right, Jack, bring the suitcase. Close the door. And now let's all go into the dining room and have some tea. You too, Jack. And you, Mother. Now, what's your name, honey?
Amy. Amy Prentice.
Well, you sit right there, Amy, and I'll pour tea, and you tell us what this is all about.
Tell you. You act. You all act as if you'd never heard of me.
We haven't. Anyway, I haven't.
This is some kind of trick. Confidence game. Mother, please. Here we are, honey. Nice cup of tea. Now, there's milk and sugar right there if you want them, and a plate of cookies. Now, let me introduce ourselves to begin with. This is Mother Morton, that's him, Jack's mother, and I'm Florence Morton, his wife. Wife? Yes, dear. So, you see, you're thinking he's your fiancé. Well, you see, that just can't be so.
Is she your wife?
Of course she is. Let me tell you once again, I don't know you. I never saw you before in my life.
You did. You did. We met just 2 weeks ago at the conference at State Teachers College.
Now, what in blazes would I be doing at Teachers College?
Well, you're an English teacher, aren't you?
English teacher, my foot. I'm an insurance salesman.
But you can't be. You can't be. Unless you don't have a twin brother or a double or something.
No, Amy, he doesn't. As she very well knows. Mother? Amy, why don't you tell us what you think this is all about? I mean, start at the beginning and, well, tell us the whole story. Perhaps we can help in, I don't know, in some way.
But he knows what happened.
Whether he does or not, you just tell us in your own words.
Well, I'm an English teacher at Midvale High School. And I attended the conference of English teachers at State Teachers 2 weeks ago. On the third day, when I was having lunch in the cafeteria.
Look, excuse me. There seems to be a shortage of tables. Do you mind if I sit down here?
No, of course not. Please.
Thanks. I'll just put my tray down here. Here we are. Or rather, here I am. My name's Morton, Jack Morton.
Amy Prentice.
Where are you from?
Midvale.
Newark. High school English. You know, Chaucer, Shakespeare, and all that.
Well, we have a lot in common.
Mm-hmm. Including food. I see you got a BLT on whole wheat, toasted.
You too?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Hey, are you enjoying the conference?
Oh, yes and no.
Well, what's the no part?
Well, quite honestly, I don't go for some of the new teaching methods they're recommending.
Yeah. Like letting your students read what they want to read instead of holding them to the curriculum.
You too?
Me, too.
Well, we do have a lot in common.
Yeah, I should say we do. Sure glad I asked to sit at your table.
So am I.
Amy, do you mind if I call you Amy?
No.
And you call me Jack, okay?
All right, Jack.
Well, what I was going to say, it's kind of early to ask you for a date, but, well, look, the barbecue tonight. I'm not looking forward to going alone, and I sort of wondered.
I wasn't looking forward to it either, for the same reason.
You talk about two minds with but a single thought, two hearts that beat as one. Well, how about it?
How about what?
Going to the barbecue with me. Look, the steak is going to be New York cut, my favorite.
Mine, too. I'd love to.
It's a date, then, Amy?
It's a date. And that was our first date. We saw each other from then on every chance we got, every day. And just before the end of the conference, Jack asked me... Jack, you know you did. You asked me to marry you.
Look, will you make sense? I'm married to Florence. I've been married to her for 10 years. Would I ask you or anyone else to marry me?
But you did. What do you think I'm doing here? We arranged for me to come today to meet your mother and stay here till we got married over the weekend. Why, this is the engagement ring you gave me.
Now, wait a minute. Cool it, lady. You could have gotten that anywhere. You could have bought it yourself.
Amy, I know you're sincere in thinking you met Jack at that conference and that he asked you to marry him, but... Well, it's got to be some sort of delusion.
If it is, how did I know his name and address?
That you could have got out of any phone book. I don't care what you say, Florence. This girl is playing some kind of game.
I don't think so, Mother. I think she really believes what she says.
I believe it because it happened.
No, Amy, as I say, it's some sort of delusion.
Is the rose garden a delusion?
The rose garden?
Your rose garden, Mrs. Morton. Jack told me you love roses and that you're an expert at growing them, that you even exhibit them and have won prizes. Is that true?
Well, yes, but...
That window there, that picture window, does it look out on the backyard where the rose garden is?
Why, good heavens, it does, yes.
I'll describe it for you. Just as Jack described it for me. There's a brick walk down the center, dividing the yard in half. You enter the walk through a white trellis that's covered with red and white roses. At the far end of the walk, there's a tall French fence to screen you from the neighbors. And in front of the fence, there's a fountain with a large statue of the god Pan. Is that right?
Perfectly. It's unbelievable.
I don't see anything unbelievable about it. She could have gone out back and looked at my garden before she rang the front bell.
Well, yes, that is true.
How would I know that Jack's mother exhibits her roses, wins prizes?
Oh, that's true, too, Mother.
Well, there are plenty of ways she could have found out.
Name one. You just named me one.
I could name you half a dozen. You could have asked questions around the neighborhood. And there is a record book of prize winners with stories of their backgrounds, their lives. You could have just made an educated guess.
Personally, I don't think this poor child did any of those things.
Then you explain how she knows.
I can't. No more than she can.
I have. Jack told me about that garden and all about his mother, but, well, it doesn't matter now.
Well, what do you mean, Amy?
I mean, I don't understand it, but obviously Jack doesn't want to marry me. Can't marry me. And regardless of what I think, what I believed happened, and it did, I know it did, well, it doesn't matter.
Well, where are you going?
Back where I came from, of course, Midvale. Thanks for the tea.
I'll be happy to take your bag to the door.
Now,
and...
just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Amy, you can't go back to Midvale today.
Why not?
There's only one train from Newark to Midvale. I happen to know because I have a friend I visit in the asylum there. And that leaves at 9:30 in the morning.
Well, I'll stay somewhere. At a hotel.
You'll do no such thing. You'll spend the night here. With us.
I can't have that. I won't have it, Florence. I'm not letting some tricky little character like her stay the night under my roof.
Mother, we can't put her out. That simply wouldn't be decent. Human. No, I insist. She's got to spend the night, have a good, refreshing sleep. And then I'll drive her to the station after breakfast in the morning.
I really can't put you out like this.
Not another word, Amy. I won't take no for an answer. Now, let me show you to the guest room. Bring her suitcase, Jack.
Okay.
You come along too, Mother.
You don't need me.
Oh, yes, we do.
What for?
Why, I think it's going to be a chilly night. And you know where the extra blankets are.
So do you, Florence.
Please.
Come on, Mom.
I'm really sorry to bother you like this. And, look, you needn't trouble about an extra blanket. The weather's warm, really.
Here we are.
Oh, wait. Wait, before you open the door.
Yes?
Jack described the room where I'd be staying, the guest room. I can tell you exactly what it looks like.
Oh, you couldn't possibly.
There's a big dormer window, like all old houses have, and chintz curtains.
Good heavens.
A big easy chair with an ottoman. The bed has a canopy, and the rug, it's a woven rug, oval, with a design of roses.
But this is incredible. Oh, Jack, you didn't meet Amy at State Teachers, did you? You didn't propose marriage?
Oh, come off it, Florence.
Well, this is the strangest thing because, well, Amy, you've described the room perfectly. Now, here, see for yourself.
Yes, just as Jack described it.
Well, there's no understanding this. I just can't fathom it. You must have second sight or something.
No,
No more talk now. You're tired and upset. And what you need is a good nap. Dinner won't be for several hours. I'll call you when it's ready.
Thank you.
And you can look forward to dinner. We're having steak. New York cut, no less. Jack adores steak. New York cut.
Quiet, Amy.
Jack!
Quiet, I said. Just listen to me, darling.
Darling?
The dearest, most darling girl in the world.
But,
Look, there's no time to explain. It's 2:00 in the morning, and I've got to get you out of here fast. I can't take a chance on my wife waking up and finding me gone.
You are married. Florence is your wife.
Yes, but we did meet, you and I do love you and want to marry you.
Oh, marry me when you're already married?
Please, stop talking. Get this robe on. We've got to move fast.
Where are we going?
Out of this house.
In robe and slippers?
Look, I'll explain later. Come on now, let's go.
Where? Go where, Jack?
Florence.
Your wife, standing in the door with an axe in her hand. Oh, Jack! Jack, what does this mean?
What, indeed, does it mean? Why does Jack want to get Amy out of that house as fast as he can? What is Florence, his wife, doing with an axe in her hand? One thing is virtually sure. However incredible events for Amy have been up to now, they are as nothing to what lies ahead. I'll be back shortly with Act 2. G.K. Chesterton was fond of saying that an adventure was merely an inconvenience viewed in the right light. Perhaps, then, one may say that the incredible is merely the credible, viewed in the wrong light. However that may be, to come to the home of a man you expect to marry, and to discover him already married, and on top of that, to find yourself facing his wife at 2 a.m. with an axe in her hand.
Really, Amy, Mother was right about you after all. You are playing tricks.
Oh, no, I assure you.
Then what is my husband doing in your room at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you in your nightgown?
I can explain.
Do that, Jack. Please do.
First, give me the axe, Florence.
Tempted to ask where you'd like it. Just explain your presence in Amy's room, Jack.
Well, I thought I heard her cry out. I thought she might be in trouble. I came to see if she was all right.
Just a nightmare, Florence. I had a nightmare.
That's hardly surprising with all you've been through.
Well, I guess so.
Could I have the axe now, Florence?
Oh, of course. Here. You see, I heard you cry out too, Amy.
You did?
Yes. And I thought there might be an intruder in the house. Burglar, something like that.
You keep an axe in your bedroom?
Well, it's an old house. Very old. Our bedroom, Jack's and mine, has a fireplace in it. We keep a small supply of wood there, and sometimes it has to be split. You didn't think I was going to chop you, did you?
No.
Well, Jack and I will go back to our bedroom now. Come, Jack. Oh, and Amy.
Yes?
Try not to have any more nightmares. More toast and marmalade, Amy?
Thank you, no.
Coffee, then.
No, frankly, I'm anxious to get started. Get that train for Midvale. I don't want to miss it.
You won't miss it. Plenty of time.
Well, there really isn't, Florence. There's just under half an hour, and it takes 15 minutes to reach the station.
I know.
So, I think we'd better get started, Amy. Your bag's packed and in the hall, so let's go.
You?
Well, I'll drive her to the station.
I was planning to do that.
No, I'll do it.
No, Jack, no. Waste of gas.
What do you mean, waste? You take her or I take her? What's the waste?
I have to go into town, shopping to do for the weekend. And you don't.
I see.
I can do my shopping at the same time.
Yes, I see.
So that'll mean only 1 round trip instead of 2.
I said I see, Florence.
Saves gas.
Yes.
Well, if we're going to get started...
Oh, but first you must see the rose garden.
No,
yes. I mean, how can you even think of leaving without seeing it? In some unaccountable way, you do know what it looks like, but, well, if I were you, I'd want to see it for myself.
Well, there isn't time.
Of course there is. Take a moment. Let's all go to the rose garden. And aren't these lovely? Hybrid teas.
Yes, but, time...
And this rambler. Isn't it gorgeous?
Yes. Oh, yes, you're certainly to be complimented, Mrs. Morton.
Thank you. Oh, but this isn't her garden, you know. It's mine, really.
But Jack said...
Jack said? Jack couldn't have said anything. Now, could he? Since you didn't meet him till yesterday. Or did you? Did you meet her at State Teachers, Jack?
I've told you I never saw her before in my life.
Yes, but I've been thinking... You know how I am? Always thinking. Sometimes my head aches terribly.
Oh, please, we're going to miss my train.
I think about so many things. Now, you take this rose garden. She gets the credit for it. Always has got the credit for it. When I'm the one who designed it, created it, planted it. Even your father had to admit it was beautiful, Jack. Remember?
Yes.
Oh, how that man hated me, reviled me, scorned me. But even he admitted that my rose garden was a thing of beauty.
Florence, we've got to go. Now, if Amy's going to get her train.
Yes. Oh, yes. But first, I wanted to see these floribunda. Aren't they gorgeous?
They are, yes.
Note the deep, dark red of the blossoms. Very dark, very deep red.
Lovely.
Do you know why?
Cultivation, I suppose.
Blood.
Blood?
Mr. Morton's blood. Jack's father's blood. This is where we found him. Hacked to bits.
Oh, Jack.
Easy,
I
Mom.
can't
Easy,
bear this.
Mom.
Blood had
Florence,
poured
Florence.
onto the soil, into it, saturating it. Would you believe that before that day, these roses had been rather weak, skimpy, subject to all sorts of diseases? But afterwards, they'd literally burgeoned with health and beauty. Would you believe that?
Now, look, whether I believe it or not, we can't stay here another second.
Why not?
My train, that's why not. The only daily train to Midvale. Are you deliberately trying to make me miss it?
But of course not. What a thing to say. I only wanted you to see the rose garden.
Well, now that I've seen it, let's go, please.
Whatever you say, whatever you say.
I'll go along too, Florence.
You, Mother? Whatever for?
Some shopping myself.
Well, why not? We'll all go together. You too, Jack.
Well, no, I'll stay here.
Not a chance, Jack. Not a
Oh,
chance.
excuse me, but while we're doing all this talking, time is slipping by. I don't want to miss that train.
Of course you don't. But before we go, I do want you to know, Amy, what a pleasure it's been having you stay with us.
Thank you.
Of course, you haven't enjoyed it, poor dear. But never mind. You're sure to find a husband so attractive, so pretty.
Could we go now?
Come on, Jack, Mother, Amy, get in the car. We just have time to make the Midvale train. Luckily, as you see, Amy, the garage fronts on the street.
Luckily?
Well, we can drive right out into the street and not waste time. Drive right straight out.
Yes.
Now, if the garage was in the back of the house, waste time, a minute or two, and we don't have it to waste.
Could we get started?
Oh, you are in a hurry.
Well, you said yourself we don't have any time to spare.
That's why you don't have to tell me.
I'm sorry.
I should think you would be. Well, here we go.
Something wrong?
Damp, I guess.
Suppose you let me drive, Florence.
How can you drive, Mother, if the car won't start? It won't start.
Look, I'll get a taxi.
By the time a taxi gets here, your call and everything, you'd miss the train.
But we're certainly not going to get anywhere this way. The battery's wearing down.
Correction. It's worn down.
Oh, no. Well, that means I'll never make the train to Midvale.
Well, now, I resent that, Amy. You sound as if spending another night with us here would be most unpleasant to you.
Oh, no. No, I didn't mean...
We did try to make everything as pleasant as possible for you. Back in the house, all.
Look, if I went down to the corner and got a cab...
Amy,
Yes?
do as Florence says.
Of course, Jack. Of course.
Out of the car. Back in the house, all.
Oh, look! A taxi! A taxi pulling up right in front. Oh, good heavens, I forgot. Joe!
Joe? Who's Joe?
My brother. All the excitement and all, I forgot. He was coming to give me away.
Okay, driver, thanks.
Oh, no, Joe, wait! Keep that cab! Driver, don't drive off! Wait!
It's all right, driver. Go on.
No, wait! Please, wait! Joe, hold that cab!
Amy, what
Driver!
in the world?
Driver, wait!
Go on, driver. Go on. We don't need you.
For criminy's sake, go stay. Go stay.
He's gone. He's gone!
Amy, baby, sis, what is this?
Oh, she's all upset. All upset. I'm Florence Morton. How do you do?
Oh, Joe Prentice, Amy's brother. Amy, what?
You understand, Joe. I may call you Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Amy's all upset. You know how it is, getting married for the first time. Nerves.
Oh, sure.
Joe!
You Jack Morton? Yes, I am. Ah, glad to meet you, Jack. Great pleasure. And you're, Jack's sister, huh?
Let's all go into the house. Come on now, come on. Have you had breakfast, Joe?
I had something on the train.
Well, you want more than that. Eggs, bacon, toast, and marmalade, hot coffee. In the house, everybody.
No.
Amy, in the house. Hey, what's going on here? You're all acting like... Well, I don't know. You're...
Wedding plans, Joe, wedding plans. Everybody uptight. You understand.
Yeah, sure. Florence, is it?
Florence. Everybody in. Everybody in. Well, now, here we are. All together once again.
Joe.
Jane?
Joe, there's something crazy going on in this house. Something real crazy.
Now, Amy, honey.
Joe, listen to me. There's something wrong. I don't know what it's all about. I don't know what's happening, but Jack says he never saw me before in his life.
What?
And never proposed marriage to me, and then he did. And his wife, she came to my bedroom with an axe in her hand.
For chimney's sake, hold it. Amy, you're not making sense.
Oh, I know I'm not, because what's happening here, what's happened to me doesn't make sense either.
Will somebody explain this?
I'll explain it. Mr. Prentice, Joe, a mistake of some kind has been made.
A mistake?
Your sister, well, I haven't wanted to spell this out in so many words, but since you're here now and can take care of her, Joe, I'm afraid your sister is crazy.
You're afraid my sister is crazy?
Well, she came here yesterday afternoon, arrived just out of the blue, out of nowhere, saying she'd come to marry my husband.
You don't mean him?
Yes, him. Jack. My husband.
He's
My husband, Jack, yes. Somehow your sister has got it into her head that they met at teachers' conference, and he proposed marriage, but, well, it's ridiculous.
You, Jack. You say you never met Amy? No.
Jack, last night in my room...
Now, hold it, Amy, just hold it. Let me try to get this thing straight. You didn't meet her at a teachers' conference? State Teachers College? Not me. I'm an insurance salesman. This is plain screwy. Amy, if you say you met him and he asked you to marry him, I say you met him and he asked you to marry him. But he says... I never saw her, talked to her, knew anything about her until she arrived here yesterday. I see. Well, either you're a liar, Mr. Morton, or you're crazy. If anybody around here has lost his marbles, you have, not her. Now, Amy, what do you want to do about this?
I just want to get out of here.
And that's what we'll do. Where's the phone? Over there, but I'm afraid... Let me just call a cab and we'll blow.
You can't.
You going to stop me?
The phone's out of order.
Now, we'll see about that. It's dead, all right. No wonder. The wire's been pulled out of the box on the wall. Now, what is going on here? Who pulled those wires out of the box and why? Come on, damn it, answer me. Who and why?
You're like Jack's father, all male. He was a Taurus, a bull. Strong, masculine like you. He thought like you.
What are you, some women's liver?
I'm me. I'm Florence Morton. And I don't take anything from you or anybody else. His father learned that the hard way.
What do you mean, the hard way? She killed him with an axe.
Killed him. Killed him. Hacked him to pieces. He had to be killed. I certainly wasn't going to live out my life with him dominating me. Stupid, he called me. Stupid. Like that. One day I said to him, "You call me stupid once more and I'll kill you." We're in the garden. Maybe you noticed there's a wood pile in one corner, Amy.
Yes.
And there was this axe he used for splitting wood. You know what he did?
No.
Guess.
Please.
He picked up the axe and handed it to me. "Go ahead," he said. "Kill me, stupid." Was he surprised? Hacked him to bits. To bits.
Amy, come on. We're getting out of here.
Goodbye, Joe. Goodbye, Amy.
Goodbye. This door's locked. It's bolted on the inside.
Oh, I thought you knew. You didn't see me bolt and lock it when we came in?
All right, give me the key.
So you can unlock it?
What else? Now, look, you... Joe, please, don't cross her. Please, don't cross her. She'll kill us all.
Joe.
Take it easy, Amy. We're not dead yet.
Not yet, Joe. Not quite yet.
Ever been face to face with a homicidal maniac? with everything stacked against you? Happily, I never have, and hope you never have either. But Amy and Joe are. And so are Jack and his mother. What I can't figure out is why Jack, with a homicidal wife at home, ever proposed marriage to Amy. Well, we'll have the answer to that when I return shortly with Act 3. Terror can be a thing so palpable you can feel it. Clammy to your touch. Ice cold in your veins. A taste of brass in your mouth. Certainly this is what Amy Prentice feels, along with the Mortons and her brother Joe, as Florence Morton makes all too clear the fact that they are not going to leave the old house on Hilliard Street alive.
Look, Florence, I don't get any of this. I don't get any of it except all this hate you got in you. You can't blame my sister for it, and you can't blame me. So we're leaving now.
No.
Joe, she's got a gun.
I can see that, Amy. Question is, will she use it?
Yes, she'll use it all right. You better understand something, Joe. She's a killer, a homicidal maniac.
And what the hell is she doing here? Why isn't she in an asylum?
She was. She escaped just a day before I got back from the teachers' conference.
Jack.
Amy, I am sorry. So sorry. I pretended I'd never seen you before, tried to get you to leave before you set foot in this house because Florence was right there behind me all the time, and I knew she'd kill you sooner or later. Kill you.
9 years. 9 long years. They kept me in that place. But I knew. I always knew someday I'd get out.
But, Jack, if you're married to her...
No, I'm not. Not anymore. I had the marriage annulled a year ago. The authorities agreed Florence would never be cured.
So where are these authorities now? Didn't they figure she'd head straight for this house?
They telephoned to let me know she'd escaped. Asked me to notify them if she did come here. And all the time I was talking on the phone, she had a gun against my head.
You're going to die. You're all going to die.
Not if I can help it, lady.
You can't help it. There isn't a thing you can do.
We'll see about that. One thing I don't believe in is just standing here waiting for you to kill us. Me, I fight fire with fire.
Oh? And just how do you think you... Fight fire with fire? Fire!
Florence, what are you thinking?
Be quiet, Jack. I'm thinking. Fire. You know, Joe, you've given me the idea I was looking for.
I gave you...
I've been wondering how to kill you all at once. And now I know. Into the kitchen.
What for?
You see, Mother. Into the kitchen, all. And now, Jack, dear, loving husband, open the cellar door.
You're taking us down to the cellar?
Putting you down in the cellar, Jack. Open the door. Now, down into the cellar with you. You lead the way, Jack.
Look, Florence.
Don't argue, Jack. Just go.
No, we're not... My leg!
All right.
Oh, Joe!
You may be able to fight fire, Joe, but you can't fight bullets. Now, Amy, help your brother down into the cellar.
Joe!
Take it easy.
Oh,
pain.
You're bleeding.
I'll be okay.
Oh.
She hit me in the side. Fleshy part. You better let me have a look at that wound, Joe, okay? Okay.
Let him bleed to death, Jack. It'll be easier for him. Sorry I can't make it easier for you all.
Oh, she's locked us in down here. Is there another door?
No, there's not even a window. We're trapped. Absolutely no way out.
Is there any way of breaking that door down? Prying it open,
No, Joe, this is an old house. It's built when they really built them. Break that door down. No way.
Oh!
Look, try to hold still. It's not that bad, but it's bleeding quite a lot. I've got to stop the bleeding. Look, Amy.
Yes, dear.
Just around that corner, you'll find a desk.
A desk?
Yeah, I have my office set up there. In the bottom drawer on the right, you'll find a first aid kit. Now, bring it here, will you?
Yes. Oh, Jack. Jack, what are we going to do? How are we going to get out of here?
Mom, if I had the answer to that...
Jack, there's a telephone here on your desk.
Yeah, with the wires pulled out of the wall box. Florence didn't miss a trick.
Oh, yes. Oh, they are pulled up.
Look, hurry with that first aid kit.
Here it is, Jack. Here.
Thanks. Have you patched up in a jiffy, Joe. Oh, much good it'll do you, I'm afraid.
Don't lose your nerve. Me, I've been in worse binds than this. Vietnam for one. My work for another.
What do you do, Joe?
I'm a cop, New York City Police Force. Man, I've been in spots that make this look like... Hey, wait. She's up there. That's not the kitchen.
No, it's the living room, right above us.
What was that?
She put something down on the floor. Something heavy and made of metal. What could it be, Jack?
I don't know, unless it's... Wait a minute.
What, Jack? What?
Metal? Fire. I keep a can of gasoline in the garage for the lawnmower.
How big a can?
2 gallons. Was it full? I'm afraid so, and I'm afraid I'm right. I smell gasoline.
Oh, it's dripping down through the floorboards above us. She's going to set the house on fire. She's going to burn it down around our heads.
Kill herself, the poor crazy woman. Florence! Florence, listen to me! Florence, you'll kill yourself! Strike a match and the gasoline fumes! The fumes, Florence, they'll explode!
You're right. She lights that stuff. She'll never get out alive.
Florence, will you listen? Will you please listen? Oh, God, she's done it! The house this old. It'll go up like a haystack, a dry haystack.
We're all going to die. Burns alive. Oh, no.
We gotta try that door. We gotta see when we break it down. Jack, give me a hand. We'll both get our shoulders against it. When I give the word...
What?
Forget it. The door's hot already. Flames on the other side. Even if we got it open, we'd never get out. There's gotta be something we can do. Got to be.
What is the neighbors?
Neighbors?
Oh, they'll see the house burning. Call the fire department.
Oh, what good'll that do us?
They'll rescue us. Get us out of here.
Amy, honey, they don't know we're down here.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Just one chance. Just one chance.
What, Joe?
Telephone.
No, I told you. Florence pulled the wires out of the wall box.
We gotta see can we connect them again.
You think you can? Or do you?
Jack. What? Thank God you set up your office down here with a phone. If we can reconnect those wires... Let's get this wall box open. You got any tools down here?
Yeah, top drawer on my desk. One of those little kits. Here, what do you want?
Screwdriver.
Yeah, here you go.
Now, get this lid open. Right. Easy. Yeah, it's coming.
Oh,
right.
hurry, Joe, hurry.
There, off with the lid. Good. Oh, no.
What?
3 wires. Red, blue, and green. 3 poles to attach them to.
So attach them.
Yeah, but which wire to which pole?
Hey!
Oh, it's falling!
Oh, Joe, try something.
What do you think I'm doing? See. Red to this pole. Blue to this one. Green here. All right, see, can you get a dial tone?
No, nothing. Try again. Joe, move it.
Let's see. Put the red here. Blue there. And green on this pole. Okay. Anything, Jack?
That's it. I got a dial tone.
Well, use it. Get the operator.
This is your operator. May I help you?
Operator, I'm calling from a burning house. 37 Hilliard Street. The fire department's just arriving, but they don't know we're in the cellar. We're in the cellar. Amy, here. Fire chief just gave me another thermos of coffee. Have some more.
Oh, thanks, Jack. Joe?
They've got Joe in the ambulance unit over there. They're really patching up his leg.
Isn't he wonderful? I think I've got the most wonderful brother in the world.
Well, I think he's got the most wonderful sister in the world.
I'm sorry about Florence.
Lord knows I am too, but it's better this way. Mom, are you okay?
Even the rose garden's gone. The heat killed everything.
Maybe that's better too, Mom.
Oh, how could it be?
How? I'm going to see to it you have another house, another rose garden, without the memories that went with this one. Memories we're all going to do our best to forget.
So, what began as mystery, created by Florence Morton, ended as tragedy for Florence Morton. And perhaps for the best, as Jack said. She is at peace now, and if in death she has not found a better world, as we very much hope she has, she's at least out of this one, which brought her so much unhappiness. I'll be back shortly. Jack and Amy Morton are happily married now. Amy no longer teaches, at least not in school, because she has two youngsters to keep her more than busy. The boy is named Joe, the girl, Florence. As for Mother Morton, she has another garden, but not roses, vegetables. Well, everything costs so much these days. Our cast included Janet Waldo, Ann Seymour, Lurene Tuttle, Bill Quinn, and Bernard Barrow. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Now, a preview of our next tale.
Your husband isn't thinking straight, Mrs. Breach. It isn't that easy. You think that Harney will be satisfied if I let him live? If I walk off this job, somebody else walks in. This isn't the only gun in the world.
He's right, Eddie. Maybe the only way is to give him the money back.
There's nothing to give back. You think money stands still in this business? Look, maybe if we left town, went to Mexico or someplace.
Harney won't give up that easy. It means too much to him.
Well, I'm not staying here. I'm getting out. I'm getting as far away as I can.
Eddie.
Both of us, Connie. I meant both of us.
You expect me to run in a wheelchair? Maybe Mr. Derry can tell us what to do.
I can think of only one thing. Joe Harney wants a dead body. That's what we'll have to give him.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.